Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Murnur Eifenberg here. Yeah, as scheduled, this is the live stream again. Okay, hanging out. Uh, yeah, so we are good to go. I am officially live. Yeah, my beautiful logo. Looking at my beautiful logo. The things that I'll be discussing in this live stream are, or you know what? Better said, I'm going to wait until a couple of people chime in first. It seems appropriate to do so. I'm going to chime in first, or I'm going to wait for people to chime in first before I officially begin. Otherwise, I might be faced with a problem that I've noticed which is occurring. Well, not a real problem, but metaphorically speaking, a problem. By problem, I simply mean that people ask me questions that I've already addressed when, due to the fact that in previous live streams, because they're late for the live stream, or because I discussed it when I first started it. So yeah, look to the sidebar. And like I'm typing in right now, I'll be starting the discussion in a few minutes or so, waiting for more people to arrive. Okay, shout out to Homer Simpson, Adelia Chang, and David Bradshaw. Adelia Chang, you're relatively new in the sense that I haven't seen you before on one of my live streams. David Bradshaw, I have. So welcome to all of you, nevertheless. So yeah, while we wait for more people to join the live stream, the existing people can that are already watching this live stream, feel free to drop me questions. This live stream, I'll be discussing the new courses that I put out, specifically the last course, the e-occult course, and for the rest, just miscellaneous questions that people have for me. No holds barred, everything's on the table. So ask me whatever you want to ask me, whether it be occult related or personally relating to my personal life, you name it. Ask away, and I am good to go. Adelia Chang says, "This is my first time to join your live streaming, but I've subscribed to you for a while." I know that. I think I saw you comment on my one or two of my videos once or twice. But yes, this is indeed the first time that you're joining the live stream. And again, for people that are wondering how to not miss a live stream, it's relatively simple. Click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Just subscribing isn't enough. If you want to know exactly when I live stream or when I publish new material, then yeah, you need to click the bell icon so you can be notified of it right away. Um, David Bradshaw is asking me what the best spirit is for animation purposes, like a cartoon. That falls under artistic endeavors. So a Venusian spirit that corresponds to, let's see, it corresponds to the Taurus, generally speaking. In any case, a spirit that specializes in art form. Since what you're mentioning, animation falls under an art form. It falls under drawing, and drawing is an art form. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, I assume that all of you are doing okay. All of you that are watching up to this point are doing okay. Homer Simpson is asking me, will the e-occult course be able to teach you how to see spirits? We'll get to that in a second, Homer Simpson. Let's just wait until a little bit more until more people come online, and then I'll discuss it. In the meantime, feel free to ask me any other miscellaneous question. And I am wondering about everyone that is watching my stream and following me. I'm assuming that all of you are doing okay. Um, if for those of you that don't mind sharing, I'd like to know where my followers are from. I'm assuming that most of you are based in the US, right? Again, only share your location, not exact location, but your country of residence if you feel comfortable doing so. Hmm. Homer Simpson is from Korea. Okay. And you're the person from South Korea that has been visiting my website that often. Yeah, I've noticed that. It's been it's been a while now that I've noticed that someone from South Korea keeps visiting my website. We're talking about 30 to 40 page views. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it is you, Homer Simpson. Okay. No, not a problem. I more than welcome anyone from all over the world. I literally could not care less about where you're from in that context. So I actually quite like it. I prefer to have an international audience from all parts of the world. And Adelia Chang is from Indonesia. Okay, welcome Adelia Chang again. David Bradshaw from California. Okay. I unfortunately can't say that things are going well in California, David Bradshaw, from where I'm sitting or standing. Yeah, California is rapidly deteriorating to the point where it almost looks like the country I live in. It will look like the country I live in. No offense meant to Californians, of course, but yeah, we have to acknowledge the truth, okay? Um, yeah, let's see. Honestly, nothing comes to mind. So yeah, I welcome anyone. I'm seeing 4 people online now. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe the rest is still asleep or something, despite the fact that it's already afternoon in Europe. It's already 4 or something. I think it's 4 or 5 p.m. or 4:30 in Europe. And in the US, it all differs. West Coast only differs by an hour. So it's 9:34 right now. In the East Coast, I mean. In the West Coast, yeah, like California, David Bradshaw, what's your current time, your local time? Oopsie daisy. So again, feel free to drop me questions, any question that you want to ask me. 6:34 a.m. Okay, wow. Yeah, it's still relatively early. 6:34 in the East Coast on a Sunday. Yeah, that is an issue. So yeah, but yeah, I can't please the entire world. Obviously, people in I don't know. I have no idea what time it is in Asia. What time it would be in in Bangkok and whatnot. I in Thailand. But it doesn't matter. I can't please everyone, so I just pick the most appealing time or the most appeasing time for at least the majority of my followers. Adelia Chang is asking me, can you please share your opinion about people selling their souls to the devil? I have covered this on several of my articles on my website and also done a couple of videos on it. The devil does not exist to begin. The devil is just a made up notion of evil that was created by the church in medieval times, and by the Catholic Church or whatnot in medieval times. Yeah, it's just a representation of evil, but the devil itself does not exist as an individual entity. People like to align Satan to the devil, but they couldn't be further from the truth. Satan is another entity, just like all the other fallen angels, more or less. And selling your soul to the devil does not exist. Okay, the concept of selling your soul to the devil, that concept is non-existent because you can't sell your soul. Your soul is the divine within you. Your soul is literally part of who you are. So, and you can't sell it. That's why your soul can't be tainted. It doesn't matter what you say or what you do. It does not matter. You can't touch your soul. Your soul is literally the divine spark within you. I already discussed in another article of mine that man is comprised of 3 things: the mental, the astral, and the physical. Okay, so you have your soul, you've got your astral body, and your physical body. Your astral body is the one that is responsible for the things that you feel, emotions. Your astral body deals with spiritual energy. So your astral body is capable of being corrupted based on what you do, whether what you do is detrimental to your astral body, such as sinning, smoking, drinking on a heavy set basis, and all of that. And your astral body supersedes and rules your physical body up to a certain point or extent. So when things go bad for you, that's why when you take a few steps back, or when your spiritual when you're spiritually fatigued, it is also noticeable physically. So yeah, the concept of selling your soul to the devil does not exist, not in a literal way. When people say selling your soul to the devil, they are referring to people that make pacts with spirits for eternal wealth and whatnot. Most of them do it for the money, as greedy as they are. And how such a pact work is that that spirit helps you out for the rest of your life. But as a drawback, when you die, you'll have to serve that spirit as his or her slave, or as its slave in the afterlife. It's like lending money from a loan shark, okay? You're getting a really bad deal, because you might live to be, even if you live to be 100, you enjoy a nice, easy life thanks to that spirit for 60 years or something. And yeah, when you die, you'll have to serve that spirit as his slave for a couple of centuries at least. So yeah, it's a really bad deal. So that is what is up with your question, Adelia Shang. Homer Simpson is asking me what spirits rules hell. What spirits rule hell, you mean? Um, well, several spirits rule hell, and it's not all black and white, obviously. We can just come to a conclusion based on my own knowledge. I can come to a conclusion based on my own knowledge and insight. The highest ranked individuals obviously are Lucifer, Satan. Satan, no offense meant to him, but he's not as highly ranked. But yeah, he still has a significant station in hell. And for the rest, most infernal spirits that you work with, Lucifer, Focal, and so on. These are spirits that are high up in hell, if you will. But ultimately, heaven as well as hell are ruled by God. So yeah, there you go. Okay, that is enough now. I've got 6 people watching this stream. So yeah, I'm gonna begin. First off, Homer Simpson. I'm sorry, before I get to your next question, you're asking me if you go to hell, will you suffer for eternity? Short answer is yes, but I'm going to address the earlier question that you have. Will the e-occult course be able to teach you how to see spirits? So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm officially going to discuss my e-occult course. My e-occult course, I published it a few days ago, or the day before yesterday or something, something along those lines. My e-occult course is an online course similar to the e-astrological course. The only difference is that this course is an e-course, so that means that it's comprised of material that will guide you towards in that it's comprised of material in which I will personally guide you towards either being able to master astrology or being able to master the occult, one of the two. And that's where the e-astro course takes care of astrology, and the e-occult course takes care of the occult matters. In both of them, I'll be discussing specifically the e-occult course. The e-occult course is simply comprised of my book. I have simply labeled it my book draft because it was still in a draft version, or it was still a draft copy, but I decided to leave the name unchanged. You'll be getting that. Okay, let's just say if you were to order that e-occult course, I give you 2 links. A link to download the book, which is really short. It's just a couple of pages. Like I said, I stripped away all baggage, all things that are unnecessary, all things that are unnecessary and that don't require anything. Yeah, I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. Okay. Yeah, that's what it will be comprised of, and that's the first link. The second link will lead to a playlist, a private playlist, of videos, let's just say 17 to 18 videos. It will be it's comprised of 7 to 18 videos, and in these videos I walk you through the entire process of becoming a magician. I walk you through the entire process of becoming a magician. That means that I literally do everything. I demonstrate everything from point one to point B. It would literally be as if I'm standing in front of you. And the whole point of an e-occult course or all of these e-courses, both e-courses that I put out, is obvious. Okay, this is for people that simply can't, that won't ever have the luxury of meeting me in person or attending one of my classes in person, a real life class that I were to hold, or if I were to host. So yeah, those people can still make do with this e-course, which is the next best thing. And like I said, in the e-occult course, I teach you everything. I teach you all the basic exercises. Like I said in my publishing video, I metaphorically speaking hold your hand and I demonstrate right all on camera. I demonstrate exactly what to do, how to do it, and so on and so forth. For example, astral traveling. I explained as simple as possible, in as simple way as possible, to people what astral traveling is. And I show them the details, and then I literally just demonstrate, literally on camera. I demonstrate how to astral travel. I've done all of that on camera, so you can see for yourself how to do it, what to do it, to a point where a child even would be able to do it. And once you round off this course, you'll be able to you should be able to summon spirits. You will be able to summon spirits to satisfaction the same way that I do. I mean, I have everything in the occult course. I um, I even host a live ritual in the occult course. I show you how to put up an altar, everything, what you need to place on that altar, how you need to configure your altar, blah blah blah, etc. etc. These are all things that I do. Okay, literally all the things that I do, and it's literally just spoon feeding people. And again, once you've rounded off this course, you will see for yourself that you're able to summon spirits to satisfaction. That's the whole point of it all, after all. So yeah, that is pretty much what it's all about. Does anyone have any questions relating to my e-occult course? Any questions whatsoever? So yeah, Homer Simpson, in regards to your question, will the e-occult course be able to teach you how to see spirits? Yes, and not only will it be able to teach how to see spirits, it will be able to teach you in the best way imaginable or possible, and all the other and everything that you can possibly want or imagine. I mean, literally and figuratively speaking. For the rest, honestly, I can't say anything else. I'm not, again, I don't want to come off as arrogant, or I don't want to toot my own horn, so to speak. I don't want to come off as condescending, but I think pretty much that I am the only one to do so, or I'm one of the very few to give away such a course. And now you're telling me now, Homer Simpson, I really want to buy the e-course. Okay, and yeah, the prices are already clear to you guys. Okay, everything's in American currency and American dollars. The e-course costs $2,000. The reason is obvious. The book that I intend on publishing in the near future is in the e-course. I've got over 3 hours worth of material in the e-course. So I literally just push people through everything. I'm talking about I have everything, exercises, everything. So I show people what to do, how to do it, everything. For example, exercise A, I tell people, okay, listen, you need to practice master these exercises first. and then I show you on camera. I literally just recorded myself doing all of these exercises, and it was a blast from the past and a welcome one. Some of these exercises I didn't. It's been years since I've done these exercises because it's been years since I've done these exercises because I that was back when I was a beginner. So yeah, you can imagine what it was like for me. So this is really a blast from the past. Okay, I enjoyed it, to be honest. From on the one hand, on the other hand, it was more retro. But yeah, I still enjoyed it nevertheless. And yeah, I literally walk you through the entire process without all the baggage and all the other stuff. I walk you through everything. Also, literally, just all you have to do is when you buy that course that you watch the videos from the introduction. All the videos have been placed in proper order, so all you need to do is just click play video, and boom, I will show you how to do the rest, where to start and how to do it with as little money and with as little resources as possible. You don't need to buy any expensive shit. You don't need to buy anything, nothing. Okay, you need to buy as little as possible, or need to have as little as possible in order to do so. Dinesh New says hi Dinesh. David Bradshaw also says likewise. I'm assuming that that's in regard to Homer Simpson's comment. It's good to hear that you're saving money to buy this course, Homer Simpson. As you can imagine, I know that $2,000 is a lot of money. Obviously, I mean it's almost I don't know, someone's salary or 2 months worth of salary, depending on where you live. But I mean, no one out there can contest that the price is high or anything like that based on the entire configuration or anything. So yeah, you can imagine. Homer Simpson says, "I'm just a kid." Age doesn't matter when it comes to the occult, Homer Simpson. Do you mind telling me how old you are? Yeah, I understand it would take some time. I understand that. So yeah, that's not a point. You're 15 years old. Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, I can imagine. Okay, now I understand you. Okay, I understand you more than enough. Um, I don't know if you want to contact me, Homer Simpson. I'm assuming that you know how to contact me via my website if you want to discuss this matter further. I don't know if I can possibly help you out with the payment plan. I honestly don't know. But again, if you're seriously interested and if something like a payment plan is something that you'd be able to afford and appeals to you, then yeah, just contact me. Okay, yeah, in any case, like I said, that's what the e-occult course is comprised of and composed of. And the astrological course, which I already covered in the previous stream, it says the same thing. No thanks. No thanks necessary, Homer Simpson. You're welcome. The e-astro course is the same thing. It's literally the exact same thing. The only difference is that it's astrology based or astrology related. So I just literally show you exactly what to do and how to do it, like as all said in the previous live stream number 4, to the point where you become to the point where you have mastered astrology and you'll be able to work with it on a day-to-day basis. And of course, the astrological course also includes the software, all the stuff you need to work with. And the astrological course is $1,500. Oh, okay, let me see. Adelia Shang asked the question too. Is it possible to do live streaming while you're doing the ritual to call a spirit? Yeah, it is possible. David Bradshaw, you're 23 years old. Okay. And yeah, Adelia Chang, it is possible to do live streaming while you're doing the ritual to call a spirit. So that really doesn't matter. That doesn't really matter. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's what the e-occult course is comprised of, or is composed of, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you can expect. And it took me a week on average to compose each course. In total, for these two e-courses that I put out, it took me 2 weeks, 2 weeks of working pretty much every day. So yeah, to be honest, it was a lot of work and it took a toll on me. Even someone like me, I felt the toll that it took on me, the mental toll it took on me. But yeah, as the saying goes, by which I live, no pain, no gain. So I just kept pushing onwards, and now we're here. I'm done with both courses, and they're both available to the public. Aside from that, does anyone? That's it relating to the e-occult course. Does anyone have any idea? Have any? I'm sorry. Does anyone have any questions? We're talking about anything. Any miscellaneous question. Doesn't specifically have to be about the e-occult course. It could be any question in general. So yeah. For those of you that haven't seen it yet, this is the link in the sidebar to my e-course so that you can see what the e-course is about. This is for people that haven't seen it yet. So yeah, anyone is more than welcome to share their opinions with me on this e-course or anything relating to that, anything at all, anything whatsoever that you would like to share in relation to either this e-course or just any miscellaneous question in general. Anything that you can think about. I'll just Janky Nizzles, Janky's here. Welcome, Janky Nizzles. Then yeah, like I said, in the meantime, I will. I'm still here again. I'm here for any questions or anything relating to what you would like to ask. And I'll reply whenever someone pops a new question. Janky Nizzles is Janky Nizzles is asking, do you think sex demons are real? Not think sex demons are real, okay? So succubus or succubi in general are real. These are demons that simply draw energy from your sexual desires. Your sexual desires in themselves are energy, astral energy, and these demons simply draw the energy from you. They're like they can be like parasites, if you will, some of them. And as a result, they'll keep drawing energy from you, and they'll try to keep you in a lustful mood to the point, as an extreme example, to the point where you become like a sex addict, just so that they can feed off of you, kind of like a blood sucking leech. Have you experienced them? Janky Nizzles is asking me. Only once, but that wasn't in a negative way. A succubus simply took away my desire for sex, and that was all. I was in the mood for sex, and that my patron simply sent a succubus to remove my 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 desire for sex. Since there was, how should I put this? Since there was no one around to satisfy my desire, if you will. Homer Simpson is asking, can we travel through dimensions like in movies or comics? Yeah, I think you asked this question before. Yes, okay, you can travel through dimensions and everything, but it all depends. The easiest way is to do so via astral traveling. And in that e-course, I teach people too how to travel to other planes of existence. It's really as shortcut as possible. Again, short and straight to the point, no baggage or nothing similar to baggage. I myself was a bit astounded at when I took a look at everything, and I was like, okay, wow. The back in the day when I first practiced, there was so much baggage. I mean, there were so much things that are completely unnecessary that you have to wade through. So much knowledge, so much things that don't really contribute or aren't pivotal to learning how to summon spirits. That's why when I wrote my book, I was like, okay, this is only a page or 2 pages long. That's it. Was there that much baggage compared to the books that I worked with or that I read when I was a beginner? And it turns out there is. I'm not insulting the authors of these books that I'm referring to. Not that I refer to them by name or that I named them, but nah, it's totally unnecessary. Uh, Janky Nessus is asking me, do you collaborate with other magicians? No, I do not. I'm a solo magician. I work alone. As the saying goes, if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. And other magicians are, let's just say, they're a detriment to me. Other magicians, they let's just say they don't live up to my standards, if you will. Uh, mm, Homer Simpson says I agree. And Yankee Nizzle says I understand. Let's be honest, Yankee Nizzles. We all know that most magicians out there are a bunch of losers and a bunch of jokers, or they're not on par with me in terms of results. I'm not bluffing. I'm not boasting for myself, but no, I set the bar ridiculously high, and that's for myself. So let alone someone else. And again, as the saying goes, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. If it's one thing I dislike, it's being dependent on others. I prefer to do everything myself. Adelia Shang is asking, what if the spirit notice you while you're doing astral travel? How if we attach spirit during that and bring that home? Oh, you mean that if a spirit notices you while you're astral traveling and that spirit latches himself onto you, um, and you bring that spirit home? Um, if a spirit notices you while you're astral traveling, you can simply retreat back into your physical body. And as these are two separate questions, if a spirit latches onto you and he brings that, and you bring that spirit home with you, there's nothing you can do about a spirit latching onto you. It all depends on a number of factors. If you're someone that is susceptible to spirits, or if you're someone that, again, it's like asking why did some accident befall me? Accidents happen. So if something like this happens to you, it falls under an accident, and there are ways of dealing with this matter effectively in terms of relieving yourself of said spirit. But that's a different question altogether. David Bradshaw is asking me, please, or he's saying, please answer multiverse question. A question that you asked. Oh, sorry. No, it's only now that I saw that question. I'm sorry. I have no idea why I missed that question previously. Can you travel live action universe like Game of Thrones and comic books, like Marvel Universe and Cartoon Disney and Game Universe? No, not really. Okay, because these are made up universes. It's unlikely that you'll be able to travel to these universes because they're not active universes. They're completely made up and completely fictional. And you can compare it to a world filled with egregores. Okay, Superman, all of these guys. These guys aren't egregores. They're egregores in a comical sense, but they're not egregores in reality. They're not egregores in reality. Because no one worships them or anything like that. If someone starts worshiping Superman as a spirit, then yeah, Superman will come to exist as an egregore that you can work with, a thought form you can work with. But he'd be ridiculously weak. So the answer is no. Janky Nestles is asking me, are there any good ones out there? Good magicians aside from me? That's not a black and white question. There are so many shades of gray and so many factors to take into consideration. Okay. Um, the only thing I can say is a magician whose content that I've worked, a magician whose content I've worked with, moderately extensive in the past when I was a beginner was E.A. Kowering, the black magician that goes by the pseudonym in the US, E.A. Kowering. And his techniques and all of that, all the techniques that I tried from his material, his source material, his books and whatnot, the spirits that he mentions in his books, nah, these are all legit. They're all legitimate spirits. and the techniques are legitimate. All of them work, so no issues there. Uh, mm, yeah, he might seem cool, but keep in mind that that's the benefit. Okay, that he's an actually practicing magician, and his work has at least a moderate amount of merit. The drawback, however, is that he sensationalizes his materials grossly so in an effort to most likely to sell as much material as possible. He just sprinkles a bunch of sensationalism over his material, which is unnecessary. That's the drawback with EA querying. You're asking me to, can you psychically read any of us here? I can, but I'm not gonna. It's a waste of energy. And you're also saying didn't know how that works. Well, now you do. Again, feel free to ask me any question you'd like. Any question whatsoever. I'm still here as always. Janky Nissel says thank you, no problem. Homer Simpson is asking me, can the angel Raphael heal cancer? Yes, he can give cancer as well as heal it. So again, people, feel free to ask me any question, either relating to the occult course that I put out, as well as anything else that you would like to ask me. Even if it doesn't even have to be occult related, you can ask me personal questions too. I don't mind any of it. Feel free to ask me anything. Janky is also saying, have a good day. Thank you for your time. No problem. You're welcome anytime. Homer Simpson is asking me, do you like video games? I used to. I mean, I used to back in the day, back when I was your age. Definitely, I played every game as an 80s kid or as a 90s kid. I was born in 85, so yeah. For me, every console from that point on was Nintendo, all the way up to Nintendo 64, Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo GameCube. That's it. After that, I switched to PC gaming. I played every game that came out in the 2000s. That's all. I stopped playing video games around 2006 or 2007 because I just got bored with it and it just doesn't appeal to me anymore at my age. Not that age really has anything to do with it. I'm 33 now and going on 34, and it just doesn't appeal to me. I mean, I do still play a video game on occasion, but only out of sheer boredom. If I want some time, if I really have some time to kill, and even then, I just get bored in 5 seconds or so. Lazaro LG is also online. Hello, today is my little brother's birthday. Okay, what age is he, Lazaro LG? Adelia Shang says, can you cancel the deal when it's already made? Any way to escape? I'm assuming that you're referring to the so-called quote-unquote deal with the devil. If you've made this deal already, yes, it is possible, but it is very difficult to get out of. It's like getting out of a contract. So yeah. So escaping isn't exactly the right phrase to use. Yeah, escaping isn't exactly the right phrase to use. Again, people, feel free to ask me anything, anything whatsoever. He's 19 today, one more year away from starting his 20s. Okay. Do you mind asking me, Lazaro? Do you mind telling me, Lazaro LG, how old you are? I'm assuming you're obviously older since you said little brother. He's 19. Okay. And did you have any other thoughts on your deceased father in relation to the last live stream? Well, again, people, feel free to ask me any question, anything occult or non-occult related, and I'll answer it. I will be back in a jiff. Just need to take a quick bathroom break, and then I'll be back in a couple of seconds. Okay, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. David Bradshaw is asking what's tropic. What is tropic working with viewer? I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean really. What's tropic? What's tropic working with viewer? I have no idea what you mean. What's tropic? I'm assuming that that's a typo, right? Let's see. Lazaro LG says, I'm in my 20s now. Sorry for the late reply. I don't mind. Congrats on making the occult e-course. Thank you. Um, Homer Simpson says, I'm not sure about my birth time, and I heard it could affect the astrology chart. If I buy the e-astrology course, do you teach how to accurately find out birth time? No, I can teach you that, but no, it it is not included in the e-astrology course. But I might teach you separately. Okay, like I said, if you're seriously interested, just contact me and I'll let you know. Of course, this even if you buy the courses, if you have any questions while working with that course or afterwards, after you've worked with that course, just feel free to contact me. And if you have any questions relating to the course, of course, and that's all. So yeah, no real issue. Yeah, a lot of people aren't sure about their birth time, but yeah. And yeah, Lazaro LG also congratulations on turning 20 last month. Just congrats as a whole. Birthday wishes are in order. But your little brother, you're only a year older than him, then I'm assuming, right? David Bradshaw, feel free to chime in and elaborate on what you meant because what's topic working with viewer? I don't understand your question, so feel free to elaborate on that. If you feel free to elaborate on that, period. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here. If there are any other questions whatsoever, anything at all, anything that you would like to ask me, I'm all ears. I'm literally all ears. Oh, Homer Simpson is asking, can the orrery astrology teach you how others think about you specifically? Yes, that's the whole definition of orrery astrology. You can, if you have a target in mind, for example, an opponent or an enemy, then yeah, orrery astrology will be able to teach you all of that. I teach you three things in the e-course. I teach you three things in the e-course. Three kinds of astrology: natal, relocation, and orrery. Orrery is the most practical one. Natal astrology, it has to do with data compilation. It has to do with accumulating data, just putting things together. Whereas and relocation astrology is suited for moving abroad or moving to other locations, and it's the easiest of compared of all the three. Orrery astrology, it is the most difficult one to master but it's still, despite the fact that it's still the most difficult one to master, it is still it is worth it, and it is the most useful in the sense that you can use it for day-to-day interactions and all of that. So if you want to know what someone thinks about you, or anything similar to that, or what your enemy, if you have any enemies, or if you what your enemy is doing, a specific enemy that you have in mind, and what action he's undertaking, either against you or just generally speaking, what that person is doing, then yeah, it can. Horary astrology can tell you that, and the beauty is that astrology is it's free from spiritual interference. So that means that no spirit can interfere with the displayed result, or with the information that will be gleaned or displayed. David Bradshaw is asking, is it possible to live 170 years old, and what spirit does it? 170 years old, humanly not possible. Okay, if you want to live hundreds of years old, it is theoretically possible, and there can be a spirit. I'd say, generally speaking, would be a solar spirit that would be able to help you with that, or in any case, a spirit that can postpone death. But it seems impractical to do so, even. So yeah, I don't. I don't really get your question. I'm not dissing your question. I'm just saying that I don't really understand it. Why would you want to live to 170 years old? Lazaro LG says, I've been having weird dreams that would constantly take place where I've been in the past in a specific city I used to grow up in. Does it have something to do with 5G, spirits, or lucid dreaming? Um, I honestly can't tell you like that. I'd have to confirm it via a reading or something similar, just as an example. But right now it's up in the air. I can't say if it's just a dream, if it has to do with your subconscious, or if it's spirit induced, you name it, or if it's astral traveling related. Um, okay, and now you're correcting yourself, David Bradshaw. What is the drawback in working with viewer? Um, Hold on, let me look that up for you, because I have done a thingy on viewer, a video on viewer. Hold on. Let me see. No real drawbacks in working with viewer. David Bradshaw, here you go. Read for yourself. This is the article that I wrote back in the day on viewer. All the information that you would like to know about viewer is in there. So yeah, again, any other questions that anyone would like to ask? I myself am going to chime in with some miscellaneous things. I respect anyone's opinion, but sometimes people just make you laugh when they comment stupid stuff. For example, on my YouTube channel, I had a short while ago someone that didn't appreciate, let me see, one of my videos. Someone that didn't appreciate the fact that I have a video called The Vermin Mentality of Third World Folk. Let's see. It just made me laugh, and I thought to myself, wow. Oh, hold on, let me see for a second. I I seem to be unable to find it. In any case, I just told that person off. I respect anyone's opinion, generally speaking, but yeah, that person's statement was something along the lines of, I'm gonna unsubscribe because I usually love your occult stuff, but this video of yours just reeks of ignorance and pure hate. It was most likely some kind of nut job liberal or SJW. I have no problem against liberals or social justice warriors, but if you're going to unsubscribe, then don't expect anything in the way of an answer from me. We're talking about. I literally just told that person to not get hit by the unsubscribe button on the way out. It's just sad. I don't even have to say anything. Homer Simpson is asking me, have you astral traveled to the future? No, I haven't astral traveled to the future. I've astral traveled to other planes of existence and whatnot. Astral travel to astral travel to the Kabbalistic spheres on the tree of life and death, the Sephiroth and the Qliphoth, and so on, but not to the future or to the past. So yeah, there you go. In any case, David Bradshaw with the whole viewer post. Um, and yeah, again, anyone is welcome to ask me any question whatsoever, whatever you wish to ask me or whatever you want to ask me. Lazaro OG is saying, is it possible to dream longer than your resting time? For example, you experience your dream for about 3 hours, but in reality, you only rest for half an hour. Yeah, that's possible, but that doesn't mean that you're dreaming. That was astral traveling / lucid dreaming. Homer Simpson is asking me, when you astral travel, does it feel like real life? Yes, eventually it will become very vivid. In the beginning, it might be unclear and whatnot, but later on, when you develop and master the technique of astral traveling, it can become very vivid and it will feel otherworldly. So not like real life, but something akin to it, something similar to it. But believe me, you'll be very impressed and surprised by all of all of which it has to offer. So yeah, will you feel pain? Homer Simpson is asking me. No. If you've never astral traveled before, stepping out of your astral body as well as re-entering it might be a bit jarring, and you might feel a bit uneasy at first. But yeah, you'll get used to it. Practice makes perfect, after all. Lazaro Algi is asking me, what's your diet like? Do you ever eat sugar? I mean, sweet. You mean sweets as a whole? Yeah. My diet simply comprises of everything. The only things I don't really like. I like food. I love eating, but I can't think of any food kind of. Or I can't think of any kind of food group that I really specifically don't like. I like everything, and I specifically like spicy food. But I do have a tendency to go overboard with spicy food, eat too much spicy food, and just end up on the toilet more than I'm supposed to be. So yeah, that is something that I need to keep in mind too. For the rest, I do like sweets. Okay, generally speaking, anything from cotton candy to popcorn, you name it, ice cream. But I don't eat those too many times, or I don't eat all of them too much anymore. So yeah, the choice is yours, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still here, obviously. And again, like I said, feel free to ask me anything relating to anything that you'd like to know. You name it, my YouTube channel, my website, anything, even non-occult based, my location, things relating to me personally. Let's see, fun fact maybe, or just a fact. The brands, generally speaking, that I'm fond of, so the brands that I like are Adidas, um Nike, not so much. I do like Nike, but not as much as Adidas. And let me see, I do like Lacoste too. And my favorite kind of clothing is just the original clothing that has as little writing on it as possible, and body fit clothing. I'm not too fond of suits, so we're talking about just general suits, businessman attire now. Okay, more people are coming in now. Let's see. Homer Simpson is asking me, can I time travel to the past? Can I time travel to the past before I was born? Before you were born, yeah, it would be possible, but that's a different matter altogether, Homer Simpson. So you'd really have to go all out, okay? You'd really, this would be a different, it would take a tremendous amount of effort. That's it. Adelia Chang is asking me, is Lucifer still visiting you with his naked form? Yes, Adelia, Lucifer is always near me. He likes to be around me, and he's not the only one. I have a couple of spirits that are around me. And that naked form is Lucifer's real form. It's his true form, his truest. Gabriel Matthew is asking me, what do you say about Leviathan? That is interesting because I've never covered Leviathan before. What I know off the top of my head about Leviathan is he is referred to as the biblical sea monster, but he's also known as one of the demons that deals with original sin. I don't think I have information on Leviathan. I just need to check. Let me see if I have anything on Leviathan. Leviathan. No, I have nothing on Leviathan. I have nothing on Leviathan. Okay. Other people I've noticed are coming online slowly but surely. Lazaro LG is asking me what made you start uploading on YouTube instead of keeping all of what you know to yourself. Well, the primary reason is for not just my YouTube channel, my website too. The primary reason was to create an online diary for myself. So, an online diary, a place where I could store all of my occult information and organize it efficiently to the point where I have access to it. Because I primarily have all of my things, my website and my YouTube channel, for my own purposes and being and needs. So whenever I need to know anything, instead of just keep looking on my computer for documents, etc., I can just go to my website and just type in the search bar or go on my YouTube channel and reread or rewatch what it is that I said back then, so that I have all the information at my fingertips. That's why. And I thought, hey, since I'm going to be placing this online, then yeah, I don't mind sharing it with the rest too, because I also could have made everything private. All of my videos, everything could be private and just for me. But I thought to myself, no, I'm not egotistical. Okay, so it's my way of giving back to the global community. And I said to myself, fine, I'm killing two birds with one stone that way then. I'm sharing it with people as well as using it for my own purposes primarily. Occult Experience is asking me, are Vedic / Indian deities created by the Almighty God, or are they separate and independent entities? Not this doesn't just apply to Vedic or Indian deities. This applies to every god out there, every spirit out there is all created directly or indirectly by God. Not even indirectly, directly. And Indian deities are literally just egregores that are hypercharged through years of worship. They're no different in that regard by definition compared to Egyptian deities, compared to Norse deities, and so on. Deities from every imaginable culture across the globe. David Bradshaw is asking, "What's the best spirit to make me a comedian and enjoy, make people laugh, and women love a sense of humor?" That, well, let's just say a Sagittarian spirit would be able to help you with that. Since Sagittarius deals with, so Jupiterian spirit, since Sagittarius deals with having a good sense of humor. So you have that option, or a Venusian spirit, since it also making people laugh and becoming a comedian can also be seen as an art form. So yeah. So that is it. Still here as always. Tell Lucifer, David Bradshaw saying, tell Lucifer to put some clothes on. Lucifer is telling you to shut up. And Adelia Shang is asking me, how can you be friends with those spirits? What do you mean, how can I be friends with those spirits? It doesn't matter which spirits you want to be involved with. That's your own choosing. And these spirits aren't classically evil, because I'm getting the impression that you think that these spirits are evil in the sense of demonic and will do nothing but hurt you and all of that. Now, that's not at all. That's not the case at all. Okay, spirits are spirits, and they all have a role. Even demons and infernal spirits have a role. These are higher ranking infernal spirits that were once celestial, and as the saying goes, as above, so below. So the good requires the bad, and vice versa, in terms of needing both to exist, because they complete one another or each other. So these spirits are they're normal. They behave normally. They respect and are given respect in return, and all of that. Homer Simpson is asking, have you thought about developing time travel? Yeah, I have, but it was on my bucket list or to-do list, but I don't think I'm gonna go through with it. Again, like I said, no new material, no new projects, no new anything. Maybe in the future, we'll see. And Adelia Chang is telling me they're following you till now. Yeah, but that's normal. They're always near me in case I need them, because they also want to work, but I can't help them if I have no work for them. I've told them that, and they know that too. But nevertheless, they still stay close because they simply enjoy my company, as well as know how reliable I am in terms of when someone needs something from them through me. Lazar Welgi is asking me, what's your thoughts on symbols and sigils? Could one manifest their own desires with their own unique symbol? Yeah, that falls under chaos magic. Uh, that falls under chaos magic, but I'm not gonna lie to you. It personally doesn't appeal to me. It's more, it's let's just say it's a low to intermediate level of magic, and I just don't see any personal potential in it. Occult experience is asking me, if there is life on another planet, would they be working with the same spirits? For example, is Lucifer limited to planet of Earth, or would he be available some other planet of the universe? Since these planets are physical, then no, it doesn't matter. They can be anywhere at any time in multiple places at once. Okay, because these aren't physical entities, and they're therefore not bound by the rules of the physical or material plane. These are spirits that we're referring to. They're astral, advanced astral, even, or advancedly astral. So yeah, that's it. Adelia Shang is asking me if your client needs you for help to ask something from the spirit. So your client has to pay you and the spirit, or pay you and you serve something to the spirit. The latter. So a customer pays me and I work with the spirit, for example, or extract information from a spirit on that customer's behalf. So how it works is that you pay me and I communicate with the spirit and or work with the spirit towards what you want. That's how it works. So I myself give something to the spirit as a form of payment, but no side effects you're asking me. No, if there are side effects, I'll notify you in advance. So that means that if you want to know something, I'll check up on the matter for you and I'll tell you what you can expect and which spirit can help you and all of that. And if there are any side effects, I'll let you know before proceeding. Hey, Homer Simpson is asking me, will there be a multiverse where I'm a successful magician? Yes, but then again, there's a multiverse in which I'm just an everyday person. There's a multiverse in which you're a male, I'm assuming you're a guy, in which you're both women, or if you're not a guy, I'm assuming, but then in which you're a man, if you're a woman, and so on. Okay, there's a multiverse in which the opposite is the case. Let me see. Occult experience is asking me, would you ever summon God or Jesus? If one were to summon, if one were to summon Jesus, would you offer him anything? No, that's different. Okay, summoning these guys, you can't summon Jesus or God because the rules don't apply to them of spirit summoning. You can simply beseech them or politely ask them if they want to appear, but the choice is theirs to do so entirely. They're not bound by any rule of law to appear, because we're talking about God and Jesus. So yeah, I have a YouTube video on God. In case you haven't seen it, just check out my YouTube video, and yeah, you'll see for yourself. Adelia Shang is asking how much range that you put for one standard case. For a normal case, as your clients usually ask. No, it all depends on the situation. Listen, if you have a situation that you're stuck with and you would like my help, then you can simply contact me. Hold on. This link that I'm going to be placing right now in the sidebar is will lead to contact methods, so ways you can contact me. If you're serious about wanting help from me, then just contact me through that one of those methods, whichever one is easier for you. And then I'll tell you what the pricing is for. Just tell me what your problem is and I'll tell you what the pricing is, how much it's going to cost, etc., etc. David Bradshaw is telling me, is saying, oh no, you didn't. Lucifer said, oh yes, I did. Yeah, I just didn't say anything, but he says, tell him to shut the fuck up. Okay, that's what he said. He started swearing. Not started swearing, it was just a one statement, tell him to shut the fuck up. But I just said, shut up. I disregarded the shut the fuck up part, the fuck up part. Yeah. I'd like to ask people too, Occult experience is saying thanks, you've been most helpful, no problem. I like to ask people too what they think of my logo. I've had this logo for a good while, and people have told me that the logo looks nice, but since we're on the subject, or since I'm noticing my logo while waiting for new questions, those of you that feel like answering, just let me know what you think of my logo. Does it look nice, or do you think that I can do better or something? Adelia Shang is asking me, can you please ask Lucifer what is his favorite song? Adelia Shang, Lucifer is saying that since he's a spirit, so he doesn't have a favorite song. He's not a pesky human. That's what he's saying. He says that your question is just pure ignorant for asking a spirit for asking what for asking a spirit such as of his caliber, a high-ranking spirit, what his favorite song is, as if he's some teenage girl. So no. Thanks, Homer Simpson. He says it looks awesome. Adelia Shang says you can do better for your logo. Okay, I'll take that. I'll note that. That has been noted. Thank you. Lazaro LG says the logo looks bizarre, but yet again, your profession is quite bizarre to most people, so it works out pretty well. And Occult Experience is saying looks great, Morino. Is that a logo or is that a sigil? That is a logo. That's a logo. That's not a sigil. That's a logo. These are interesting replies or remarks. I like the logo. I don't see anything bizarre about it. But yeah, then again, I'm an occultist, so from a neutral person's perspective, yeah, the colors. I'd say that the colors can be construed as bizarre, but yeah, I still like it in any case. So yeah, that's it. That's why it's my logo. The two rings being colored, the reason for that is simply a reference to my two patrons. The outer ring being red, reflecting the Archangel Samael, and the green ring, which is on the inner side, a slightly smaller ring, reflects my vice patron, the Archangel Sandalphon. Jason Dunn just chimed in. Hi, Moreno. Thanks for the live stream. No problem, Jason Dunn. Let me know if you have any questions relating to the e-occult course or if everything is clear. Thanks. You also say I love the logo. Thank you. Adelia Shang says maybe you want to share with us what the intent behind your logo is. Is it a reference for the gate of ritual? No, I just explained what the definition is behind the logo. Okay. The logo simply has two circles, and the outer circle, which is a bit larger than the inner one, reflects my patron. That's why it's also red. That's his color, and the inner one is green, reflects my vice patron. That is as close to you can come as appointing him a color. And that's it. For the rest, it's just my name. Okay, my two initials on the inside, MR, and my first and last name. My first name up top in the circle, and my last name underneath. That's all. The two dots on the side are simply to draw a line, if you will, to border things off. That's it. Jason Dunn is saying, I'm very excited with the new e-course, Moreno. You should be, Jason Dunn. Since you're just chiming in, or you just had a chance to chime in, I'll run you through it. I already discussed this a half an hour ago, you name it. And you're also saying anyone and everyone can benefit from it. Yeah, I'll give you a quick recap on what I said half an hour ago. The e-occult course is comprised of my book already. Okay, that book is really short. Okay, it just when I was done writing that book, I was like, wow. I mean, compared to the original material that I worked out of years ago, it's so small. My book is only a couple of pages long. All I can't believe that there was that much baggage. It's only 2 or 3 pages or so long. So in that e-occult course is or it's composed up of my book and a playlist. So if you were to purchase it, I send you two links, one to the book, a link to the book that you can download or you can just read online. It's really short, believe me, really, really short, only a page or 2 pages. And the other one is a playlist, a private playlist composed of 18 or 19 videos in which I walk people through everything. So it's literally just a matter of pressing play and following my instructions from there. I do everything. I show people in layman's terms what an exercise is, how to perform an exercise, and I literally give a live demonstration. So if it's about scrying or astral traveling, I do this right in front of you. I literally do this in front of you so you can see what it looks like to do this ritual on average and everything. I mean, I show people how to set up an altar. I host a live ritual to a spirit as an example on in that course. You name it, everything. So after rounding off that course, you should be able to summon spirits by any means as on the same level that I do and reach the same level of success since the aim is results, of course. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, let me see. David Bradshaw saying a little hostile, Lucifer. Yeah, he's saying, what do you expect? Homer Simpson is asking me, are there infinite people in heaven and hell? Honestly, I don't really want to make any statements regarding that because that is God's call. But I'd imagine so. I would literally imagine that that is indeed the case. So yeah, Jason Dunn is saying, sounds great. I love your straight to the point way of working. Yeah, it took me a week to compile this course, 2 weeks, 1 week for the Astro course and 1 week for the occult course. And yeah, it did take a toll even on me because the sheer amount of energy that I was generating and that I was giving off while putting these two courses together, even by my standards, it still took a toll on me. And I felt it. I was like, wow, holy crap, it's taking such a toll on me putting these courses together, especially the e-occult course. But it doesn't matter. It's done. Okay. And you already know what the price is for the course. It's $2,000. It's $500 more expensive than the Astro course. But the reason for that is clear. Okay, the e-occult course is more, let's just say it's more compact and it is longer in terms of video material. There are more videos and it requires more effort compared to astrology. Lazaro LG says, you mentioned before that we have no free will, so are we just robots that can generate codes to spawn more robots? And that's a funny analogy, so no. Okay, it's true. Yes and no. Yes, we have no free will, but we're not robots. You can just see us as puppets, and God is the one pulling the strings. God is the puppet maker and the puppet ruler and everything. And we have nothing to say in the matter. Occult Experience is asking me, would you offer individual coaching? Yes, not would I. I do offer individual coaching. If there's something you would like, or if you would like me to coach you individually, albeit remotely, of course, since I'm not in front of you, and I assume that you don't intend on coming to my location. You don't intend on coming to my location anytime soon, just to meet up with me face to face. Then yeah, I offer individual coaching. So again, if you would like individual coaching or something similar, just contact me. Just contact me via this link. Hold on. Oh, crap. Just contact me via the link that has my contact options. Hold on for a second. Yeah, and there you go. You can contact me via any of those methods that are displayed in that link. So yeah, there you go. And I also need to mention for Jason Dunn, relating to the e-occult course, the course is very short, okay? like I said, when I was busy compiling it, when I was busy writing the book, I thought to myself, "Holy crap! I can't believe that there are so many. I can't believe that there's so much baggage. That there was so much baggage. Because in theory, okay, based on my book and everything, you should have mastered all of this stuff in half a year or so, approximately. And going through the material is straightforward. You can just jump right in instead of just reading a bunch of things that aren't really practical. I myself was surprised at how much baggage the older books that I worked out of as a beginner had compared to my own book. So in hindsight, again, this is in no way meant offensively towards those authors. Everyone has to start somewhere, but no, there was just way too much baggage back then. I mean, when looking back in hindsight, there was just way too much baggage. So yeah, now with my course, it's immediately straightforward. You want to learn how to summon spirits? There you go. This is what you need to do. General things to keep in mind, etc., etc., etc. Adelia Shang is asking me, what do you think about Lucifer's temple in Ananagar? Hold on, let me see. Okay, Ananagar is in India. I had to look that up first. Okay, what kind of ritual do they do? Is it the same ritual like what you have done on your YouTube video? No, no, it's nothing like what I've done. But Lucifer's temple in Ananagar, I didn't even know that Lucifer had a temple. Let me check. Oh, you're referring to the Church of Satan in Ananagar. Hold on, I'm looking it up online right now. No, for the rest, nothing else. So no, it's nothing like what I do. Occult experience is asking me, can two spirits get together and give birth to another spirits? No, they cannot. Two spirits can get together, or they don't even have to get together. They can just make energy and create an egregore out of nothing, but they rarely do so unless it's necessary. Besides, they already have enough familiars and they already have enough spirits working under them, subservient spirits, lesser spirits that work beneath them. Um, Notable celebrity make a deal with Lucifer. I have no idea whom you're referring to. Lazaro LG is asking me what's the difference between spirits and energy. Um, Difference between spirits and energy. Just neutral energy is that spirits are conscious, existing, ascended beings, okay, that are comprised of astral energy primarily, but it's different than just the astral energy that our books. It's different than the astral energy that our astral bodies are composed of. It is a much higher form of 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 just general astral energy. So that's the difference. Adelia Shang is asking me the temple in Colombia for Lucifer. I am familiar with the temple in Colombia for Lucifer, but I think that's also just called the Church of Satan, not specifically Church of Lucifer. I'm not sure on that, but yeah, I remember that church. I have no thoughts on it. There are no thoughts on it, to be honest. Homer Simpson is asking if there's no free will, then it's God who chooses us to go to heaven or hell. Obviously, okay, that's obviously the case. Yeah, that's obviously the case. Okay, now I just checked it out. Indeed, your thingy, Adelia Chang. Yeah, the church. It's called the sorry, the church. It is indeed called the Church of Lucifer instead of the. instead of it's called the Temple of Lucifer, a so-called devil church, but doesn't really matter. It's also called the Satanic Temple, Sando Martins, but I have no thoughts on it. Period. There are no thoughts on it. The only thing that I can tell you that it's not what I do in any case. What they're doing isn't the same thing as what I'm doing. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Don't group me together with them. Not at all. Yeah. So again, if anyone has any questions relating to my e-occult course or anything miscellaneous, any individual matter that you might think of, just go ahead. I'm all ears. Adelia Shang is saying, ha ha ha, of course not. Lazaro LG says, does God choose who goes to heaven or hell or on morality or moral code, or could it just be random, like winning a lottery ticket for either side? Based. Okay, now that's not the case, obviously. People are judged based on their deeds. You're based on what you did from a moral standpoint. Did you serve God? And then, okay, according to the Testament, serving God means adhering to certain rules, okay? Don't sin, do this, don't do this, don't do that. Long story short, it just reflects to not committing sins or committing as little sins as possible, and compared to the times that you have sinned, and all of that will be put together. And if the good outweighs the con, if the good outweighs the bad, then yeah, you'll be permitted into heaven. If not, then yeah, hell is where you go to. That's what you can expect, at least something along those lines. So yeah, again, if anyone has any question whatsoever, Jason Dunn, how many spirits can one work with concurrently? You can work with as many spirits as you'd like, but I'd suggest just thinking to yourself how many spirits you can handle, because you don't want to overload yourself to the point where you'll almost go insane. Because believe me, if you put that much of a mental strain on yourself, an astral strain on yourself, you might collapse. You might have a nervous breakdown, or better said, an astral breakdown, and you don't want that. So you need to check your own intuition. Just listen to your own senses. If your senses are telling you that now you can't handle more than two at this time, then don't do it. I myself, when I first started out, I only worked with two, and I slowly expanded afterwards. Adelia Shang says, can you please explain on how you help a client from overseas? Yeah, it's like I said, you need to contact me first via the link that I gave you. There are several contact me methods, a contact form. You can contact me via Facebook Messenger, via WhatsApp, and all the other all the other contact options that I listed there. And the procedure is that you simply tell me what the problem is in short. For example, I'm being stalked by someone. I want protection from enemies that are trying to destroy my life. I have money issues. I need money as quickly as possible, or I'm looking for a new job. You name it, whatever you want. I want to become thinner. I want to lose 50 kilograms of weight. I want to become thicker. You name it, whatever you want. Okay. Um, so yeah, once you do that, you just once you do that, just and once you do so, I'll tell you uh, if I can help you and in what way I can help you, and what you can expect, which spirit I'll be asking to help you, and so on and so forth. And I'll tell you how long you generally speaking have to wait until you see results, and all the other details relating to that, to helping you. Okay, and I start the second I receive your payment. You need to pay first, and the second I have that payment, I actually have access to that payment. Then yeah, then the working begins. The payment methods that I accept are the general payment methods. You can pay with a credit card, you can pay via this, you can pay via that, you name it. Homer Simpson is asking, when we go to heaven or hell, will it be permanent? Yes, it will, unless God decides otherwise. David Bradshaw is asking me, or he's making the statement. Oh no, yeah, he's asking. Weird question. A spirit to make you a taller and bigger penis? No, that's not a weird question. That's okay. As a matter of fact, I have had a customer in the past that wanted this, but he never followed through on his order. So yeah, it can be done. And specifically, my patron can get it done. Jason Dunn is asking me, so for example, the HGA and a potential patron archangel. Yes. Again, like I said, you can work with. It doesn't matter what nature the spirit is. I don't. I don't. It doesn't matter what nature the spirit that you're working with is, whether it's a higher self, whether it's an archangel, whether it is a fallen angel. It does not matter. Okay, you just need to listen to your own senses to see to it that you don't bite off more than you can chew. Adelia Shang says, I've read it. I just want to know how it works practically. And oh, I see. Okay, so now you know, Adelia Chang. If you want my help, then you already know what to do. Lazaro LG says, I'll be a bit out there and ask, can communicate or control animals. So you want to know if it's possible to telepathically communicate with and or control animals. Yes, it is. That's why the spirit Caim, for example, from the Goetia, Caim, that's what he claims to be able to do. I've covered Caim on my video, but not claim. He can do it. Okay, he can help you communicate with animals. So yeah, it is possible. And he's not the only one. There are other spirits too that can help you to talk to other animals and whatnot. So yeah. Adelia Shang says, "Oh man, does that mean we don't need plastic surgery? Just ask a spirit to make a certain part grow perfectly." Yeah, but listen, that's not how it always works. Okay, you can't. This isn't. It doesn't work like that. This isn't Harry Potter. Okay, I can't just say, "Hey, presto, make your nose bigger," and boom, your nose will become bigger. That doesn't work like that. This is real life. So, if you, for example, if you want a certain body part changed and plastic surgeons can't help you or no one in the medical world can help you, then yeah, if you ask a spirit for his help, he'll guide you to whatever place you need to be guided to that can help you. That's how it works. If he also is unable to do so himself, or if it was simply to cost too much energy from his part out. And Big Fat Foot is chiming in. He's saying, "What? The Archangel Samael can get me a longer dick?" He's in shock. He's saying, "Why are you surprised?" Okay. Again, he also deals with physical bodies, or your physical body, and altering said physical body. So if you want to make things bigger or smaller, and relating to that, if you want to lose weight, if you want to gain weight, then yeah, he can also help you with that. Okay. Might I remind you that his ruling zodiac sign Aries and Scorpio. Aries deals with this matter. The primary thing that Aries deals with is one's physical body. So yeah, wait, there is your unshock treatment, if you will. So don't be so surprised. I have done it for other customers in the past and no complaints. I'm not referring to the one customer that didn't follow through. I'm referring to a customer that did follow through because he wanted to last longer in bed and he wanted to last longer in bed and he wanted his penis to be bigger. And yeah, he can't complain in that apartment. He himself told me that yeah, he's definitely noticed. He's content. Let's just say that he's content with results. So yeah, any other questions? Big Fat Foot is asking, is it permanent? Big Fat Foot, don't worry about it, okay? Don't be shy or anything. We're all adults here, and even for the ones of us that aren't adults, they're adult enough to the point where they can handle. If they can handle the occult, then anything of a sexual nature or anything else should not stifle them. And yes, it is permanent, so don't worry about your dick growing back into its smaller, previously sized shape it was in. So yes, the change is permanent. The change is long term. It is permanent. So you name it. Even if you want to become more muscular, if you want this, if you want that, can be done. It all can be done. David Bradshaw says, "Get my girlfriend bigger breasts." Can be done. Seriously. Yes, it can be done. I can even see to it that your girlfriend's sex drive increases. I can even make your girlfriend's sex drive increase to the point where she wants you more. Um, so yeah, the ball is in your park, so to speak. It all depends on you. I'll hear from you if you seriously want it to happen. Big Fat Foot says muscles are easier to grow than a penis. Haha. Well, generally speaking, yeah, you're right. Generally speaking, muscles are easier to grow, but that's only because your penis is too sensitive to lift weights. Otherwise, no, undoubtedly, if you wanted a bigger penis, you'd also train your penis by having it lift a couple of dumbbells. Occult, but no, in all honesty, in all seriousness, I am serious, okay? If you want genitalia enhanced, if you want your sex drive enhanced, if you want this or that, anything of a physical nature, you have some kind of physical altercation and you want it, I mean, some kind of physical abnormality or something that you want of a physical nature, then yeah, can be done. It all can be done. And I'm serious, dead serious. Occult experience, is there such a thing as a corporate egregore? If so, have you ever summoned one of them? What do you mean exactly by occult, corporate egregore, occult experience? Homer Simpson is saying, weird question, but the angel Samael can give you a stronger body to the point you're immune to bullets. That's a stretch to say the least, okay? He can give you a stronger body, but he'd have to turn your body into iron. And let's just say that the sheer amount of energy and investment in such an undertaking would take years, okay? Decades even. Big Fat Foot says, I will really give the penis magic. I'll keep the penis magic in mind. Once I have the cash to spare, I'll gladly give it a go. No problem. It's relatively easy, he says, especially in your particular case. So yeah, I'll hear from you if you seriously get to it. Not that I'm doubting you. No, no, no. I'll just hear from you. Period. Jason Dunn says amazing. Thank you. And yeah, that is it. For people that are wondering what can be covered, occult experiences like corporate brands and logo became sigils after people give their energy to them. Well, people rarely give their energy to corporate logos in that way to the point where they become egregores. So, yeah. I have never come across one, nor have I ever heard of anyone else come across one. So, no, the answer is just no, period. Oh yeah, and like I said, for people that are maybe unaware of what can be done realistically, be accomplished via the occult, I'm just gonna go through the list of my services for a hire list. So in case some of these things have escaped other people's minds. Quit addictions, e.g. smoking, which is true. Okay, if you're addicted to something, if you're addicted to heroin, methamphetamine, smoking, doesn't matter. I can help you quit these addictions. Dealing in love matters, that's already familiar with people. If you want to get back a lover or break someone up, getting a better job or making more money can be done. That's already well-known territory. Know oneself and self-ascension, that's already well known. Esoteric knowledge too. Becoming stronger mentally as well as physically, I just covered that. Help in law-related matters, court cases and whatnot, also familiar with that. Destroying an enemy, help in moving abroad, help in studying or learning a subject in record time. That's also something on the table in case you need to study for something, or in case you would just like studying to become easier by, for example, making your mind absorb thoughts and ideas more effectively, or by gaining a more photographic experience or near photographic memory, I mean, not experience. So if you just want the ability to be able to learn things a lot quicker and absorb information a lot more, then yeah, that can also be done or accomplished. Wanting to remain unseen or do something that requires secrecy can be done. Healing an illness, be it mentally or physically, mental disorders and illnesses. Becoming popular and gaining friends and admiration can be done. Obtaining sex, mastering any art, e.g., painting and whatnot. And child wishes if one is barren. So, yeah, so that means that if you can't have children, if you're a woman and you can't have children, or your husband is unable to impregnate you, or the both of you have a problem, that can also be helped. Jason Dunn says, in these workings, I guess different spirits have different effects on our astral bodies. Can you explain some of the benefits and effects? Well, you need to elaborate more for that. What do you mean exactly? Different spirits have different effects on our astral bodies. It all depends, okay, what your intent is. I mean, if you work with a spirit, generally speaking, that doesn't mean that that spirit will automatically, doesn't mean that that spirit will automatically change your astral body, or change it to the point where you'll notice a difference. Doesn't have to be the case. It generally speaking is, but that only if you work with that spirit for an extended amount of time. So we're talking about years and whatnot. Oh, you're saying now you mean energy wise. Let me just give you an example. If you work with a spirit, generally speaking, that is charming, and you, generally speaking, aren't charming, that one of that spirit's attributes is that he's charming. Then, after working with such a spirit extensively and coming into contact with that spirit's energy, yeah, you'll also notice that you will become more charming. That's something that you can keep in mind. Okay, I work with the Archangel Samael as my patron, and as a result of working with them extensively, I've noticed that but that was also as a secondary goal or as a tertiary goal. In any case, not a goal that enjoyed top priority, but a goal still nevertheless of equal priority. Mental and physical health and strength was my aim too, and is still my aim. And as a result, I have seen that I've become astrally as well as physically stronger, significantly so even. Uh, and relating to my vice patron, my beloved Vice Lord Sandalphon, the Archangel Sandalphon, I've noticed that thanks to him, I've become slightly more attractive and also more extravagant. Extravagant in the sense of outgoing and just spending more. Okay, and I feel more appeal. Things like fashion and material things appeal to me more. So yeah, That's thanks to him, and I'm aware of it. Okay, I am very aware of it. And also, since he's someone that moves around a lot, generally speaking, I have also noticed that I pretty much have difficulties sitting still. I also want to move around a lot. And when I say I don't move, I don't mean move around the house. I want to move around. I want to explore. I want to go places and so on. Whereas previously, before him, I could take it easy. Let's just say lying in bed all day or doing something similar. Even if I had to stay home for a week, I could do so. But now it's like I'm itching to just go somewhere. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're saying too. I really have a love for Samael. Okay, no problem. He says likewise. Um, Let me see. David Bradshaw says spirit teacher reading mind. Um, yeah, reading other people's minds is also possible. Telepathy, simply reading other people's minds. But keep in mind that karma does come into play. If you abuse such an ability, then, for example, Raziel can teach you how to read other people's minds since Raziel deals with clairvoyance, the Archangel Raziel, which rules Neptune. But karma is very strong when it comes to stuff like this. If you read someone's mind and abuse the information that you can glean from it, then yeah, you better believe that you're going to be in for a bad time and a bad life overall. Okay. Let me see. Omar Simpson says, you said the angel Raziel can teach you telekinesis. How powerful can you move the object if mastered? That all depends on how much you've practiced, okay? As you practice and grow and progress, you'll be able to move heavier objects to the point where you can move boulders with your mind and all of that. But keep in mind, karma also applies here from a neutral perspective. Any clairvoyant faculty that you see in a movie or something that would be considered quote unquote cool, if you commit to any of these things and you actually carry them out, you can make no mistake. Okay, if you abuse it even in the slightest, it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass multifold. David Bradshaw says, "What's the benefit of working with Lucifer?" The benefit of working with Lucifer, David Bradshaw, Lucifer's an all-star. So yeah, according to his own saying, but I agree with him. Lucifer, I love Lucifer too, but yeah, it's too bad that I don't have any room for him in my life. So yeah, you can see for yourself. My article. um, Lucifer's a jack of all trades, okay? He has a multitude of abilities. Lucifer can cover everything. He can improve your quality of life as a whole and specifically can help you with your career, whatever career you might think of or whatever you consider to be work. Like I said, Lucifer can just help you overall. Jason Dunn says, by the way, which spirits are good for clearing up old slash bad karma, or is this something we can do by doing good deeds to others? Both, to be honest. But Samael can help you with bad karma. Karma is also one of the things that he deals with as a specialty. Another thing that I need to point out too to people is that solar spirits, generally speaking, are exceptionally strong. And not I mean not stronger than other spirits in general, but I mean they're exceptionally strong in the sense that they cover multiple subjects more often than not. And the infernal solar spirits are also very strong. RCL is one that comes to mind. Aside from Lucifer, Shepar also comes to mind, and so on. So yeah, Jason Dunn says, "Geez, I have to salute Samael here. Salute back at you." Homer Simpson says, "Will there be karma if you use it just for fun?" No, without harming anyone. No. Like I said, the karma part only applies when abusing your power by hurting someone or taking advantage of someone in an unjust manner. Yes, your article on Lucifer was really good. Thanks, Jason Dunn. Oh, so yeah, that's the difference. What I said earlier, referring to solar spirits, of course they work differently. You'll notice that infernal spirits work differently than just celestial solar spirits. Celestial solars work. They just work differently. If you work with Lucifer's the vibe that he gives off and the energy that he gives off is different. It's not intimidating, but it's relatively quiet. It almost feels a little bit dark sunish, if that makes any sense. Instead of the regular sun casting its light on you, you feel like a an alternate darker sun is casting its light on you. But still, the results are still effective and welcome and whatnot. Although you do need to be wary of the toll that working with a spirit like Lucifer takes on you. Okay, it does take a good toll, so you really need to be strong in order to work with something like someone like Lucifer. Not to discourage anyone, everyone has to start somewhere, so you can just work with Lucifer, and this accounts for any spirit, not just Lucifer. You can work with anyone you'd like. Just keep in mind that you need to be that you'll only be able to draw in as much energy as you can only take in at your level. As you'll become more advanced, you'll obviously be able to draw upon more energy and thereby obtain better results. Okay, so yeah, I'm obviously still here. Adelia Shang says, "What do you think about a local spirit? Are they real? Each area has an urban legend. Would you mind to please take a look on Indonesian spirits like I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, Panglima Burung. Let me see, or Panglima Kumbang. First off, let me say that like I said in my video, I'm done. By that I mean that I'm done with publishing new material. But regarding local spirits, to just know whether they're an urban legend or real, let me say from the beginning that each area, each region in the world, each part of the world has their legends, urban legends, and folklore of mythological creatures or creatures that actually insist. So yeah, it all depends. Okay, I'm looking at um, I'm looking at Panglima Burung, and it translates as bird commander. I don't know if that's true. The commander of the bird, or Pangkalima, is a legendary mythical figure who is believed to be a patron and unifying figure of the Dayak tribe in Kalimantan, etc., etc. Oversees the entire life. Okay, okay, I've seen enough. Okay, this is an egregore, Adil Yashang, that has been turned into a god or has been deified. Hold on, oh crap. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I can conclude based on what I'm reading here. Jason Dunn says, great answer. I like that. Jason Dunn says, so with your new e-course on a very average, how long? So do you think it will take most students to master and become competent magicians? Uh, with the e-course, if you were to buy that e-course and if you were to simply literally just follow my instructions, I'd say half a year at the longest. Half a year. Could be between a couple of months and half a year. But if you master any exercise for 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops, then yeah, there are like 4 or 5 exercises you need to master first. So that's 15 weeks. And then we come to actual ritual. It's, let's just say 3 months or so, but a half a year on average. And like I stated too, you need as little material as possible. I've made it to the point where I've explained everything in such a way that you literally need as little resources as possible. So no need to buy a bunch of expensive shit or expensive items that you will not use or that are simply unnecessary. So no wand, no magic wand, no this, no that, none of that stuff, man. None of that stuff is necessary. Period. You literally need as little in the way of resources as possible. That's all. And you're saying now that's beautiful. Yeah, good to know. Adelia Shang says, what spirit do you suggest to call for a beginner? Like I said, it doesn't really matter which spirit you work with. You can work with whatever spirit you'd like to work with. But the difference is that as a beginner, you'll only be able to draw a small amount of energy of that spirit. And therefore you'll notice relatively okay results. It all depends on your perspective. If you're not used to seeing anything, then those results will appear tremendous, but not in hindsight. I mean, after a year or 2 years, you'll clearly notice the difference because you've become more adept as a magician and stronger. And you'll see that the results are more significant. The results they're significantly better. They're 2 to 3 times better than your initial results. So it all depends, okay? You can work with whatever spirit you'd like. Problem or the issue doesn't lie with the spirit, it lies with you. You simply need to grow. Practice makes perfect. So the more you summon, the more adept you will become, generally speaking. Jason Dunn says perfect, no problem. So yeah, choice is entirely yours. The choice is entirely yours. Deoya Shang says, interesting. Thank you for your explanation. No problem. So yeah, I'm all ears. Again, I'm all ears waiting here. Still waiting on questions, new questions, that is. Whomever or whatever wants to message me. I'm seeing someone new. Oh no, you're not new. Curtis Strother, I have a question. How does one cause God, in between brackets, the Elohim, to act faster to a prayer request? I have an article on this, okay? You need to simply pray the right way, and God will deliver it to you as fast as possible or as fast as He sees fit, as quickly as He sees fit. It's the first time that I'm seeing you on my live stream. I have seen you comment on my YouTube videos multiple times, but it is the first time that I'm seeing you on the live stream. Um, Occult experiences, is it advisable to work with a spirit for a major issue or work slowly with a lot of small problems? No, 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 no. Again, the severity of the issue does not matter. The severity of the problem that you want to tackle within daily life is does not matter. So yeah, you can do both. The choice is entirely yours. Again, the severity or how major your issue is does not matter. Whether it's a big issue or a small issue, it doesn't matter. Homer Simpson says, when spirits appear as a human, can you tell the difference between the spirits and a real human? Yes, I can. Jason Dunn says, another question aside from what you've already covered in articles. Are there any negative side effects we need to be aware of? When it comes to working with spirits, no, there are no negative side effects really. Honestly, nothing. When it comes to working with a spirit towards a particular goal, there if there is a negative side effect, then divinatory readings will point that out. And and yeah, that's it. The readings will point that out, and then you can decide whether the pros outweigh the cons, the benefits outweigh the drawbacks, and whether you would like to proceed or simply look for another spirit that doesn't offer that specific side effect or that doesn't have that specific side effect. Adelia Shang says, just wondering if you ask any spirit to boost up your e-course. No, not the e-course in particular. My vice patron handles all financial matters. So yeah. Fergus says, yeah, I got lucky and finally caught you. Okay. LOL. Adelia Shang says, because you can ask a spirit to give you more costs. You mean more money, right? Yeah. Yes, I can, and I am. So yeah, that's not a point. Jason Dunn says, oh, this is wonderful. Good to hear it again. Let me see. Curtis Strother, hold on. Let me look up the article in case you haven't read it already. This is the link to the article, the whole God thing, on how to pray properly. Does praying to God work? That's the title of that article. And now you're asking me another question. What makes you want to give out your knowledge to others for free? Because I see that you've made a lot of videos on multiple subjects. Why? It's very generous. Again, I've already stated this in the beginning, but yeah, since you're just chiming in, since you're just watching this live stream, you missed it. The reason that I share my knowledge is because I'm not selfish. Okay, life and existence is give and take. I myself, whenever I want to know something, I look it up primarily. I say, okay, Google, what's this? What's the population of such a country? You name it. And that's my way. This is my way of giving back to the online community. So whenever people like you want to know something occult related, you'll more often than not, as long as I've covered it, you'll find it online sooner or later. And then, yeah, you can simply take the information that I've given you and do with it as you please, apply it to your life and whatnot, or just memorize it so that you know more about the subject that you're inquiring about. And yeah, that's it. But the primary reason for my online content is for my own purposes. For how should I put this? For archiving purposes. It's primarily for myself. So if I want to look up something, for example, hey, I did this spirit. I covered this spirit years ago. Let me see what were his attributes again. I can just look it up on my own website or on my YouTube channel and so on. Jason Dunn says, just want to say I'm grateful and appreciative of the fact that you're doing these live streams. Yeah, sure, no problem. You're more than welcome and anytime. Cult Experiences, thank you for all your videos. By the way, they are most helpful. I have been getting much better results since I watched your video on offering an altar. Okay, good to know. Homer Simpson says, what do you do in your free time? In my free time, I, aside from working, I simply do things I like doing, honestly. That means exploring, or just watching general videos on YouTube or subjects that interest me, topics that interest me. Just mundane things that the average person enjoys, nothing really exceptional. Sometimes I go on a road trip to somewhere I haven't been to, something along those lines. Those are a couple of examples. So yeah, I'm still here whenever anyone has anything to ask. If you're gonna do it now. Better sooner than later before I get bored. Do spirits have free will? No, none of us have free will. There is no such thing as free will, period. God is the only one that has free will. Occult experience. Jason Dunn says, when you first started out, did you ever imagine you would be where you are now? Yes, but I don't attach too much value to imagination, Jason Dunn. I remember that a lady that knew about tarot card readings, she did a reading for me, and and again, she was spot on in that reading, and she says at the end that I would become a great magician, etc., etc. And yeah, here I am, yeah, here I am, and yes, I did see it, of course, but when it actually happens, or when it's happening, and when you're there, it's just let's just say that imagination doesn't even come close to the real thing. But I think that you already know that it's like imagining you doing something and then actually doing it. It's numerous times better. It's numerously better than just imagining it. Jason Dunn says spot on. Sure, no problem. So again, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to ask me any question that you'd like to ask me, anything at all. Occult experiences. Have you ever cast a love spell for a client? If so, can you share the story? I cast so many love spells for customers. The primary things that my customers want is love or sex related things, or love or sex related. That's the most popular topic when it comes to customers of mine. And yeah, what else can I tell you? That's the primary thing. And as a secondary measure, uh, let's see. Secondly, what else do they want? Secondly, the second most popular thing is money. The most popular thing that my customers want is love. The second most popular thing is money. And I can't really give you an example, okay, because there are so many stories. The only thing that I can tell you is about a love spell that I did for a girl that I had a crush on. This was way back when I was a beginner, and long story short is that I summoned the Archangel Anael, and despite the fact that I didn't get the satisfactory, despite the fact that the result wasn't satisfactory. I didn't get what I want because the girl, guess what? The girl lives all the way abroad. She lives somewhere in Germany. And I'm obviously a continent away. I just met her online, and when I saw her, I was like, whoa, okay. I was just swept off my feet. I just had a huge crush on her, okay? Because, yeah, I mean, if I were to show her to you, then you'd immediately understand. I'm not the type of person that, I'm not the type of person that gets a crush easily on someone. You have to be, as a woman, you have to be ridiculously hot. You have to be a real beauty in order for you to appeal to me. But yeah, long story short is that I just said to myself, let me just try, let's see if I can make the most of this. So I knew that I was, hey, listen, I'm not going to go all the way to Germany just for her. That's just stupid thinking. Okay, I might have had a crush on her, but I wasn't head over heels in love to the point where I was blind. So what I did is I thought to myself, let me see if with my own skill I can get the most out of this relationship with her. If I can just remain friends with her, good friends with her online and whatnot. And no, unfortunately, it did not work because there was no opportunity to make it work. And because I'd have to invest a lot more energy into it. And what I did was a one time summoning. I just summoned the Archangel Anael once, and and that was it. And of course, it's not as effective as hosting a one time ritual isn't as effective as working via altar with the spirit, a default altar um, via working through an altar, okay, with the spirit towards your goal consistently. A one-time summoning is just like it's like being in burst mode, just shooting once or twice and then you're done. But despite that, I was still satisfied. I was still very satisfied with the way that everything unfolded. Because what happens is that Anael gave me such a Anael is the archangel that rules Venus, by the way. So he deals with love and so on, since he rules Libra and Taurus too. Anael Anael was Anael gave me such a beautiful dream. Okay, I had a ridiculously vivid dream in which I simply dreamt that she kissed me. I had multiple dreams, but it was so lifelike that I felt my lips tingling after I woke up, and I was like, "Holy crap!" Okay, and the experience was just amazing. I was like, "Oh no, that was nice." Okay, I. It doesn't matter if this working was still a failure. The way in which things developed was simply great. Keep in mind, this was back when I was a beginner. I was literally in the infant stages of my business, and I and afterwards I got another second dream about her. But that was Anal's way of showing me that, hey, things are not going to work out, because I dreamt that she was only dressed in a t-shirt and that she was sitting on a couch, and she told me, "Hi, Mr. Magician. I know that you like me and all, but..." And I woke up right after she said "but," and I said, "Nah, that's a bad but. When someone says but like that, that means that something isn't gonna work out or something like that." And yeah, it simply turns out that that girl she had a hard personality to crack. Let me put it that way. She has a mind that is difficult to penetrate, and that includes in relation to magical and astral forces. So one time summoning was not going to cut it. And of course, for me, it wasn't worth anything else. So it wasn't worth more energy or worth more of an investment. So I just left it the way it was, and I just dropped it. I said, fine, no, I'm done with the matter then. I at least tried, and we're done. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely, especially that those vivid dreams were just, oh man, they were out of this world. Um, Let's see a couple of new questions, and I'm seeing someone Celestial Ruby 888. Haven't seen you in a while. Jason Dunn says, what do the spirits think of the human race in general? They seem to be so willing to help us evolve, and I really love this about them all. Yes, but at the same, yes, that on the one hand, but on the other hand, they also detest, especially celestial spirits. They also detest humans because they see us as vermin and whatnot. So you can understand why they see us that way, based on compared to them how underdeveloped we are. Celestial Ruby 888 says, for my current relationship that requested to be platonic friends but still keeps me from seeing other women, what should I do? Also, has she put a spell on me? I have no idea what you're talking about. For your current relationship that requested to be platonic, okay, I'm assuming that you were in a relationship with someone and that person requested to be a platonic friends with you, but still prevents you from seeing other women. What you should do? Also, has she put a spell on you? So you're obviously, I mean, you're a guy. I'm assuming that you're a man. I want her to move off my island, and who can help me with this? Listen, I can help you with that, but I can help you with that as long as you can afford me. So it all depends on you. Hold on for a second. If you want to, crap. Hold on for a second. Let me send you my contact methods. I keep having to share my contact methods with people because they keep. Okay, but he's new, so yeah, I understand. You're new. Okay, listen, Celestial Ruby 888. Listen, if you're serious about this and you want my help, you want me, just contact me via this link. See this link for contacting me. So yeah, I'll hear from you if you are serious about wanting help with this. You're saying yes, or is she my twin flame being difficult? Twin flame is, as far as I know, twin flame is similar to or akin to a soulmate, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't believe in soulmates. So yeah. Yeah, things are heating up now. Question wise, something I like. See, this is what I want. Heavy traffic. Okay, people to not dilly dally around and waste my time. Homer Simpson says is the lost spell permanent. So that means if you no, the lost spell isn't permanent in the sense that unless you deliberately request it. Generally speaking, a lost spell includes me bringing two people together or disrupting the togetherness of two people. And anything that they do from that point on is neutral. So if something goes wrong, it's their own decision, so their own fault. Oh, Curtis Strother is asking another question. Sorry. How does someone pray in the spirit? Pray in the spirit simply means that you need to memorize something to the point where it sinks into your astral body. It's similar to memorizing something if you go to school or when you go to school. You need to memorize, for example, a 5-page essay in order to be able to take the exam. And how do you memorize something? You simply memorize something by repeating it, or by citing it for yourself repeatedly, to the point where it just sticks in your head. That's what is meant by praying in the spirit. Because when you memorize something, it doesn't literally stick in your head. The more you memorize it, the deeper it sinks into your astral body. And if it's in there deep enough, you'll be able to do it effortlessly. That's the logic behind most things. Okay, it's like, that's why experience is the best teacher. The more you do something, the more you'll remember doing it, and the easier you'll be able to do it, because not because of your mind. They say that, as the saying goes, the human mind learns through repetition. In reality, it's not the human mind, it's your astral body. For example, driving a car, provided that you know how to drive a car and you're experienced enough, you've driven a car 1,000 times, then yeah, the reason for you being able to drive that car effortlessly is because you've driven it enough to the point where it has synced into every action that you need to take, has synced into your astral body. That's why you're capable of doing things on the reflex, okay? Because you know that's going to come. So yeah, that is how one prays in the spirit. Praying in the spirit is simply means memorizing the prayer and actually meaning what it is that you're saying, praying with intent of whatever your intent is, and memorizing said prayer. Jason Dunn says, and what are the qualities they like most about us? For example, where they take notice and want to reach out to us if they do in the first place. Well, this is a concept that applies to everyone, including human beings. When do you reach out to someone? When you can benefit from it. And it's the same for them. They'll reach out to you when they see that they can benefit from you. For example, my Lord Samuel, when he saw that I thought about adopting him as a patron, because when I was a beginner, I said to myself, I want a patron. So I'm leaning towards either the Archangel Samael or the Archangel Michael. Both of them visited me and let me know that they are more than welcome and more than open towards me, helping me and all of that. And yeah, my choice is obvious, or my choice has been obvious. What the hell? Yeah, my choice has been obvious. Um, Although I still love the Archangel Michael, and I still care a great deal about him and so on. I've worked with him for customers in the past and so on and so forth. And he's helped me a good deal too. That's why I have an Ode to Michael video. But the point is that they approached me because they saw the benefits that working with me has for them. So that's the reason. Occult experiences, thank you for sharing your personal experience. No problem. Celestial Ruby, okay, I've already covered you. Okay. Curtis Strother says that, and you just said something interesting. Celestial spirits see us as vermin. How does someone ascend to being like the angels? How could someone be higher like them? By working with them, plain and simple, or by simply aspiring to divinity. That's it. I also see a lot of people like vermin. That doesn't mean that something's wrong with me or that I'm not right in the head. But my quality of life and my evolvement as a human being is of such a nature, has reached such a level that when I see other people that behave so primitively and they look so primitively to the point where you can't even consider them human beings or animals even, then yeah, I'm going to use the phrase vermin. Hank Hill says, what pinnacle would one use when working with Sandalphon? There's no real pinnacle that you can use, but if you absolutely want to use one, he says it's not necessary at all to use any pentacle. But if you want to use one, you can use Venusian pentacles. I use the first pentacle of Venus, and I host a ritual for my Vice Lord Sandalphon on Friday. But that doesn't mean that he aligns with Venus. Venus is the closest that you can come to in terms of an alignment. As the ruler of Earth and everything, then yeah, that's the closest you'll get. But since he doesn't since he's not one of the traditional seven archangels, then yeah, he has no direct planetary correspondence. Um, Homer Simpson says, if I die and get reincarnated, can I remember my life by magic? Your past life, yes. If you search deep enough or dig deep enough. Adelia Shang says, is astral body equal to what people call muscle memory? Yeah, you can call it that too. Okay, yeah, that is what people are referring to too. So that's what your astral body is. When you're in school and you need to memorize something and you memorize it by repeating it 50 times, you take a break after 20 times and then you come back and do it another 20 times and then lastly 10 times before going to bed. And yeah, that's why if you want to memorize something as effectively as possible, do it right before you go to bed. For example, if you need to memorize a piece of text, just memorize it 10 to 15 minutes before going to bed. For example, if you intend on going to bed at 11 p.m., just memorize it around 10:30. And then when you're done, it will be time to go to bed in 10 or 15 minutes. And you'll see that you'll end up remembering it a lot better. You'll see the difference as opposed to when you just memorize it just throughout the day and you're done. Everything you use, everything that you do and that you can do is goes towards your astral body. Even me, when memorizing rituals and everything, all the things that I've memorized, the reason that I'm capable of doing them because I've mastered them is through my astral body. And the story, not my mind, my astral body. What scientists call the mind is in reality your astral body. Your astral body is the one that acts on reflex, so that you know exactly what to do, when to do it, so that you know what reaction an action requires. So that's it. Occult experience is asking, can a magician summon a planetary force the way they summon a spirit? For example, can I just summon Jupiter? Yes, you can. I have summoned Jupiter in the past by using the lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram. That's simply, you can summon any energy from any occult force. For example, a zodiacal force too. You can summon the zodiac sign Aries. You can summon Scorpio. You can summon everything. I've done it all in the past before, but the ritual that I used wasn't really effective. So the problem wasn't the planet or the zodiac sign. The problem was simply the technique that was used. A magician, hold on. Let me reread your question. Can a magician summon a plant or summon a spirit? Yeah. So yes, you can summon and work with Jupiter. So if you would like to work with the sun, for example, you can do it the same way. Just treat the sun or whichever force you intend on working with, similar to an entity. For example, hosting an altar to the sun and hosting ritual to the sun, you name it. The sun will then send spirits, or better said, the ruler of the sun, in this case would be Raphael, would send other subservient solar spirits to help you out with whatever you want or desire. So yeah, that is that. And the people, for the people that had any intention of contacting me, be sure to do so if you're serious about your helping matter. Again, I'm available 24/7 pretty much. So, yeah, if you're serious about getting help in your matter or whatever you intend on doing, just contact me and we'll get to it. And relating to your question, occult experience, hold on for a second. I think I have, hold on. Uh, Here you go, occult experience. You can follow this link too. The benefits of planetary magic, and you'll see that planetary magic has a bunch of benefits, indescribable benefits even. Uh, and occultic. You're also asking me. I keep hearing about Mercury retrograde. Is it a real thing? Doesn't matter. Mercury going retrograde. I honestly can't tell you for sure. I can't say for sure because you need to be knowledgeable. You need to be knowledgeable in transit astrology, and you'd need demonstrative proof. So no, I can't say for sure. Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think Mercury retrograde is a thing, but I can't say for sure, like I said, because other times I do notice sometimes that communications falter, but then it could be sheer coincidence and not just because Mercury is going retrograde. So no. So yeah, again, still here with the questions and everything. I'm still waiting on answers. Still waiting on answers. Well, I mean, I'm still waiting on questions from you guys. Mm, Yeah. Occult experiences. Thank you. Sure, no problem. Again, I'm here waiting on any question, any legit question that you can give me. And occult experience is asking me what spirit would you recommend for a day trader. I watched your video about stock marketing and it was fascinating. What's Big Fat for is asking me, can I ask on my previous working with you here? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Sure, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Big Fat Foot. If you're unsure, you can also ask me via WhatsApp. But again, if you would like to place it here too, then I don't really mind. No. Occult experiences. Yeah. Hold on, occult experience. Let's see. What spirit I recommend for a day trader? It all depends. Any spirit, generally speaking, that can deal with finance as well. So honestly, I can't really say for sure. I mean, the Egyptian god Osiris would be okay. He would be okay. He's the only one that comes to mind, really. Um, he's the only one that comes to mind. Hold on for a second. Let me look up my. Let me look up the article I did on Osiris. Um, Occult experience. Here you go. This is the article on Osiris. So yeah, there you go. Big fat foot in relation to what you said. We were previously with Raziel to increase my clairvoyance and astral hearing. How much longer do you think it would take to realize? Yeah, I'm sorry. What do you mean exactly? How much longer do you think it would take to realize for you to become clairvoyant and to develop your astral senses to the point of your personal satisfaction? I'm assuming you mean that. Okay, so yes. Um, um, how much longer it would take? I would have to check your current level, but let me see. Right now, I'm just hold on. I'm just consulting my intuition right now by gauging your level of clairvoyance right now, and your current level of clairvoyance at the moment is moderate, Big Fat Foot. You have a moderate level of clairvoyance, so to increase it depends on what you want to do. If you want to work with Raziel again or anyone else, a spirit that specializes in clairvoyance, it would take, aside from doing what you usually do and just practicing and all of that, with them helping you out, it would take 2 months. So yeah, let me know what you intend on doing further. 2 months, in any case, is the answer. Let me see. Hmm. Celestial Ruby 888 is asking me who to work with when there is this full moon eclipse energies. You don't need to work with the full moon eclipse, okay? That's just a ruse by people for working with the full moon. I mean, by that logic, you can also say, hey, there's rarely any hailstorm or anything like that, so you can also perform a ritual then. So no, it's not necessary to work during the full lunar eclipse. Big Fat Foot says, thank you for the reply. No problem, Big Fat Foot. I Again, if you need anything, then I'll hear from you. Yeah. You're saying more work to be done by you then, more work to be done by me then. Keep in mind what I said. With them by your side, it will take 2 months. It will take longer by yourself. Just letting you know, because I had to gauge you. For example, I first had to measure. I had to link with you psychically to measure your level of development. Okay, so again, any other question that anyone has, anything that anyone would like to know, anything whatsoever, I am all ears. Ear emoji. Again, I'm all ears, literally and figuratively. So, yeah, I am listening. Homer Simpson says, can you link people's clairvoyance? What do you mean by linking people's clairvoyance? Linking people's clairvoyance, how exactly, Homer Simpson? What do you mean by linking people's clairvoyance? Can you elaborate on that? Hmm. So again, I'm still here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still here. If anyone has any questions, and Homer Simpson, if you care to elaborate on that, on whether I can link people's clairvoyance, what you mean exactly, because I don't know what you mean. So let me know, please. Anyone has any questions? Anything of the sort or of the kind? Yeah. Homer Simpson is saying you measured Big Fat Foot's clairvoyance. Can you do it for to other people? Yeah, I can do it for other people, but listen, Big Fat Foot is an exceptional situation. Okay, he's an existing customer, and he's a repeat customer, so I didn't mind measuring him briefly. But yeah, I can do so. My intuition is well developed, even if I say so myself, because of simply it's kind of like a byproduct of all of my work. Intuition plays a big part, so I can sense someone's intent, generally speaking, in serious cases, or If I just focus myself, I can sense, generally speaking, what people are thinking, what their intentions are, whether they're filled with doubt, and so on. And in his case, I can measure his level of clairvoyance, so how astrally well developed he is. Hi, Gregory M. You're asking me, does um, can a pentacle be used by beginners? Yes, that's the point. You should use a pentacle to jumpstart things, to make things go as quickly as possible. And Homer Simpson, I can do it for others too, but it's all, if you want, for example, if you would like me to measure your level of clairvoyance, I can do it too, but it's going to cost you. So yeah, that's that. Occult experiences. This may be a bit personal on my part. I had a vivid dream about a lady telling me to start a company and name it after her. That which I did. Do you think that's a spirit or just a dream? It could be. I have no idea. It could just be a dream. Could just be your subconscious, a miscellaneous dream. But no, most likely it was someone that, most likely a dead person or something similar, because it's too much of a coincidence, and it's too direct, it's too intent focused to be just any dream. So yeah, Hank Hill is asking, how common are parasitic and imposter spirits? What would be the best way to go about in avoiding and banishing these things? How common are okay? For me, they're not common. I'm sorry. Yeah. For me, they're not common. I have never, up to this date, come across a parasitic or imposter spirit, but I have heard of them. The best way to go about avoiding and banishing them is the general way to banish spirits. It all depends on the magical system that you're working with. There are several guidelines and rules put in place to prevent you from coming into contact with these kind of spirits, or at the very least minimize the level of contact you have with these spirits, or to minimize the chances of them coming your way. But even if you do come across them, you can just use the general banishing techniques for banishing them. uh, Occult experience is asking me, how could you tell the difference between a dream or when a spirit is talking to you? You'd have to confirm it via a reading. Okay, for example, I can't just say whether it was an actual spirit that contacted you, stating her wishes, or and what the outcome of following up on her wish will be, or whether it was just a dream. I'd have to confirm it via reading. So the choice is yours. Listen, if you want, I can check for you, but it's going to cost you $100. So the choice is yours. Um, Big Fat Foot says some question off tangent. How are the two dogs in your house? The two dogs in my house? What do you mean exactly? You mean, I'm assuming you're referring to the two puppy like dogs I had in the last house video I did? Yeah, I used to keep two dogs. Yeah, that's true. I used to keep two dogs, but I don't have those dogs anymore. I did away with all the dogs I had because they were far more of a nuisance than an asset. They were literally just pissing and shitting all over the place to the point where you can barely even walk, where I could barely even walk on my yard properly, and all of that. They just, I was patient with them for 6 months, but no, afterwards it was more than enough. In any case, it was more than I could bear, so I don't have them anymore. Yeah, ha ha ha, you're laughing. Yeah, it's a shame too. Like I said, I love dogs to death, but nah, this just went too far. My dogs, I have no idea what the hell's wrong with them. No, okay. In the beginning, I was patient with them because I thought it was a phase or something, but I thought it was a phase or something, but no, yeah, I have no idea what it was. Okay, it's possible that they were autistic or something. I have no idea what the fuck was wrong with my dogs. Honestly, these dogs. There's a good chance that these dogs might have been mentally disabled, but it doesn't matter. Not anymore. Now my yard is completely empty and free from crap, and I can just go about my daily life without having to worry about feeding them. Metaphorically speaking, worry about feeding them and being home in time to feed them if I'm somewhere or if I'm elsewhere. No issues whatsoever. Hmm. So yeah, if there are any other questions, more than happy to answer them. Any other questions? Hmm. It's a dry Sunday over here. I have no idea. I think the local temperature is like 30 something degrees. It's hot as always outside. Um, and for the rest, as usual, it is a boring Sunday, nothing to do. Homer Simpson says, "Thank you for doing this live stream again." Sure, no problem. Like I said, anytime. And if there anyone else that has questions, any question at all, Occult Experience is also thanking me for the live stream. Big Fatfoot is calling it a night. Good night. Good night to you too, Big Fatfoot. Enjoy a good night's rest. Tomorrow will be Monday again. Or it's already Monday in your location. I don't really know. I see 10 people watching the stream at the moment. I am still waiting on more questions. Occult Experience says if you come to the US, you will be famous. I would not mind coming to the US, but the state that the US is in right now, coming to the US to stay is definitely not, um, it's not looking all too good. That plan is not looking too good. So, yeah, I will be coming to the US at least once in my lifetime, definitely. So don't worry. Hank Hill says, in your opinion, what about the France Bardon system? It's out. What about the France Bardon system is outdated? The system as a whole is outdated. France Bardon is, I think he's the first one to introduce that ceremonial magic outline system. And again, there's no specific part of it that is outdated. The thing as a whole, the entire system that he outlines in that he outlines is outdated. It's just outdated, period. So I am still listening to anything that anyone else has to say. Ankel is asking me, do spirits ever come across as overly hyperactive, you mean, and heavy sense of humor? Yes, as a matter of fact, they do on regular occasions. Why do you ask? Is it something you've come across too? Let me know. I think I have to go. Goodbye, Homer Simpson says. Sure, no problem. Bye, Homer Simpson. Until next time. And yeah, Hank Hill, that is pretty much it. Like I said, they do come off sometimes like they have an excessive sense of humor, or like they can't stand still, or that they come across as overly active, and other times it's the exact opposite. They're very quiet and timid. Again, why this question? Is it something that you've noticed, or was it just a random question? So I'm still here, obviously, waiting on someone to pop a question. Still here, waiting on someone to pop a question. So if you're gonna do so, please do it immediately. No need to dilly-dally around it. Gregory M says, can I use an altar for my spirit even though I've just begun the relationship with him? No, you cannot. Okay, using an altar, you can do so, but it won't be very effective unless you have already gone through the preliminary training period in terms of developing astral senses and whatnot. You need to be able to do all of these things first before you erect an altar. You can erect an altar to a spirit, but it won't be as effective. So, yeah, it comes down to your own personal choice. But the spirit that I advise you work with, he says you can still do so. It will still contribute to you connecting with him overall. Hank Hill says, in my experiences with DMT, it's very common. I'm sorry, what do you mean by DMT again? What is that an abbreviation of? Oh, okay. Oh, you mean psychedelic thing? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, in your experiences with psychedelics. Nah, but the thing is, I don't use psychedelics. I think it has to do with the cyclic nature of spirits, okay? It has to do with their cyclic nature, not so much in as with hallucinogens, because I don't use hallucinogens, and yet I've noticed that about about spirits that I work with. They're sometimes calm and completely calm and timid, even they're distant, and other times they're excessively active to the point where they can't stand still, or they take several different shapes because they want to. You name it. But you're telling me there seems to be a lag on the answer. I think that has to do with Google Hangouts or YouTube streaming capabilities. I'm sorry, but that's okay. You're asking me too if there are gateways into different planes on the astral planes. Yes, there is. But if you want to travel to an astral plane, it's quite simple to do so. You're asking me too if I'm familiar with Alex Gray's art. I'm going to take a look at it now. Yeah, I'm familiar with Alex Gray's art. No. Okay, that's not what the astral looks like. I know that's what you're asking me. Are you familiar with Alex Gray's art? Would you say that that's a good example of what the astral can look like? No, that's not what the astral looks like. The astral plane is like the physical plane, provided that you just astral traveled and you're outside or you're in your room or in your house or anywhere. It's the same, it looks the same. The only difference is that the astral plane is hazy and can be hazy or unclear. Doesn't have to be hazy and unclear, but it does look that way in, in some instances or some cases. That's it. So yeah, again, I'm listening, ladies and gentlemen. If anyone has any other questions for me, does anyone have any questions for me whatsoever? Still nothing? Hmm. No, okay. Occult experiences as an expert occultist yourself, can you tell if someone had made a pact, sold their soul, so to speak, to a demon? I've never come across someone like that, but generally speaking, yeah, I've noticed. I'd be able to tell. So, yeah, the answer is yes, generally speaking. Mark Omar is on the live stream just now. I'm assuming that he just chimed in. Do you have any information on Alakis or Alices? Let me check to see. I don't really know who Alices is, so I have to look him up. Hold on. No, I'm sorry. I have no. Who is the spirit that you're referring to? Who is Alakis or Alices? I've never heard of him. So again, if you're willing to elaborate, then yeah, let's get to it. It's a demon from the Goetia. Alices is a demon from the Goetia? I um I doubt that. Okay. Or you're mispronouncing his name, or I'm just wrong. So let me just take a look and see. No, there is no spirit by the name of Alakis or Ala. No, there is literally no spirit by the name of Alices. So yeah, I have no idea which spirit you're referring to. Oh, you spelled it with a double L. The 52nd spirit, Alokas. He can also be called Alokas. The 52nd spirit is Ulysses or Alokas. He's a dude, great, mighty, and strong, blah, 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 appearing in the form of a soldier. Slider has to be soldier, right? Yeah. Yeah, soldier or slider or warrior. Riding upon a great horse, his face is like that of a lion, blah, 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 having flaming eyes. His speech is hoarse and very big. His office is to teach astronomy and liberal sciences, etc., etc. No, I have not covered this spirit. Uh, I haven't covered this spirit, Mark Umar, so no. So another person, too, that I'm seeing for the first time, code 919. What's the best teaching you learned from Zafar so far? Everything is included in the article that leads to my in the article on my website. Everything relating to what I know about Zafar, pretty much. So yeah, you're more than welcome to read that if you haven't already. Here is the link, code 919. So yeah, Mark Omar, the answer is no. I have no information on Alice's because I haven't covered them. But again, nor do I intend on doing so. Like I said, I'm done publishing new material. Gregory M is asking, other than witchcraft, is using colored candles necessary and important in a ritual? No, it barely makes a difference. It's more for good measure. If you're a perfectionist like me, then yeah, you'll want to use colored candles. But it's also fine if you don't have any colored candles and you just want to use generic white candles or yellow candles or whichever kind of candles you have in stock or you can get your hands on. Code 919 says, yes, I've read your article. It's very interesting, Morino. Thank you very much. Okay, no problem. Other than that, I have no other thoughts really on Zipar. Zipar is on standby right now. It's one of the default spirits I work with. But I have no work for him at the moment. So yeah. So he's on standby. No problem, Gregory M. Okay, thanks. Anyone have any other question? Does anyone have any other question? Henkel is asking me, are geometric patterns commonly associated with spirits? Not that I'm aware of. Code 919 says, just now I got a thought about Sipar and reminded of your channel and opened YouTube and your live. Okay, good, good, good. That's good, that's good. So yeah. It's too bad that you're a bit late because I started this live stream a couple of hours ago and I've covered a good deal of material. But it's okay, better late than never, as the saying goes. So again, anyone have any other questions? Anyone has any other questions? Code 919 says that's good. I will rewatch the content I've missed. Yeah, sure. Feel free to do so as many times as you'd like. Choice is entirely yours. Occult experience says, can a magician summon a spirit of someone who is still alive? No, not possible. You can summon a small portion of that person's astral body, but that's it. But as a whole, no. Code 919 says, is it required to stay protected while working with Goetia spirits? No. I've already covered that on my previous live stream number 4, as far as I'm concerned, or live stream number 3, but I've already discussed it now. The whole Goetic outline of working with spirits is outdated and wrong, to be honest. Gregory M says, what's your opinion on guardian angels? I don't really have an opinion on them. I I don't see anything relating to a guardian angel. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't see any credibility or merit to a guardian angel since these angels themselves are not really active. Um, Now you're saying I changed your perspective. Good to know. Hank Hill says, can you speak anything on dwarfs or elves? What do they do and what are they generally associated with? These are earth elemental spirits, dwarves slash elves. Elves are nature spirits, but they still belong to earth. So yeah, same goes for fairies. The same goes for gnomes and all of that. That's it. Short and straightforward. Earth elemental spirits, and that's all. They can help you with specifically finances. They can help you also with finding treasure and anything that relates to the earth or to the soil in the bowels of the earth. Um, yeah, yeah, and that's pretty much it. But practically speaking, they can help you with money. Agriculture would also be something, but that's to a lesser extent. That's more of a yeah, that's to a lesser extent. Code 910 is asking me what's your best experience or big change you received from the spirit world. Too many to mention. Too many to mention. Anyone have any other questions? Any other questions whatsoever? No other questions? No other questions? Um, Code 919 is asking me the best way to work with spirits for money. There is no best way to work with spirits for money. Money is just another goal like any other goal, and if you want to work towards money with a spirit, it's no different than anything else pretty much. Just need to focus on that, and that's all. If you mean the best spirits to work with for money, then yeah, that's something else. In your experience, what Hankel is asking me, in your experience, what spirit they have met? What spirit have you met that has left the biggest impression on you in terms of their personality and humor? The two, my patron and vice patron, my beloved Samael and Sandalphon, those two have left the biggest impression on me. And Belial in turn. Um, Code 919 is asking me how to connect with Sipar's frequency and receive wisdom and messages from him. No offense, but this question is a bit this question is a bit obsolete. How to connect with him? The same way you connect with any other spirit, the same way you summon any other spirit. So that is it. The choice is entirely yours. I'm still waiting here for new questions, if anyone has. Okay. So yeah, the choice is entirely yours, ladies and gentlemen. I am still waiting here. If anyone has any new questions or anything, it looks like you've explained everything about the occult and you're already out of topics now. Code 919, LMAO. Yeah, no, the thing is that I haven't said, okay, if you can read the description, it says that I'll be discussing the new e-course, which I already did. And what my live streams usually look like is that someone asks me miscellaneous questions. So that people ask me questions, whatever kind of questions they want to ask me. That's what my live streams are about primarily. So the only new topic I discussed, and is only 15 minutes to 20 minutes long, is the e-occult course. For the rest, it's all about feedback from people, but that's what it's all about. 80% of the live stream is about feedback from people. If no one has any question out there, and I wait for a minute or two and no one has any question whatsoever, and there are fewer people or there's barely anyone online and watching the stream, then yeah, I'm gonna close off the stream. Occult experience says this has been very helpful. Thank you, no problem. Code 919 says, how can I access the e-course? I sell the e-course, okay? I have e-courses in astrology as well as, I have an e-course in astrology as well as one in the occult. I'm gonna send both of them your way. Hold on. This is the first one, and this is the second one. There you go. You can check them out. They're both for sale. No problem. Gregory M says, do you know if the human Jesus of the Bible was a spirit before? If so, which on? What do you mean exactly? Whether he was a spirit before, you mean before his death, before he ascended to heaven? What do you mean exactly? Marco Mars says, the spirit that left the biggest impression on me was Lucifer. Sure, I can see that happening. Care to elaborate on that? Why was he the biggest? Why has he left the biggest impression on you? Gregory says, before coming on Earth, whether he was a spirit. Well, that I can't say that for sure because God is the only one that knows. But yes, Jesus was okay before he came to Earth. Yeah, he was already an existing spirit. But when I say existing spirit, doesn't necessarily mean different than others. Okay, he was an existing spirit, but not existing in the way of, not existing in the sense of, he was a spirit the same way that we are spirits, if you will, pre-packaged and whatnot, as far as I know. He was born a normal human being afterwards, just like the rest of us, and when he died, God resurrected him because he is directly God's son, of course, compared to us. We're all God's children in that regard, but you know what I mean. He obviously enjoyed priority, okay, and now he sits by God's side and all of that. So yeah, again, anyone have any other questions? Mark Omar care on elaborating why Lucifer was the biggest spirit that why Lucifer was the spirit that had the biggest left the biggest impression on you. Gregorian says thank you for those answers. No problem. You're more than welcome. So yeah, I'm here waiting on more feedback from you guys. I'm listening. If there is anyone that has any other questions, occult wise, code 919 says on Goetia spirits deceiving. No, they're not. I have no idea why you're saying that, but I have no idea why you're saying that. Goetia spirits are no more deceiving than the average spirit. Gregorium is asking, what's the first exercise to open the third eye? Again, I have a YouTube video as well as a thingy on that. I have a YouTube video as well as an article on that, Gregory M. Hold on, I need to check to see third, third eye. Hold on, it's called the third eye and the Kundalini. This is it. This is the link, or these are the links. Mark Omar says people are right when they say he puts your mind at ease. When the invocation started, I felt overwhelmed by the energy that was in the room. It was a beautiful experience. Yes. David Bradshaw says the best angel is asking the best angel for mental and physical what? The best angel, mental and physical. I have no idea what you mean by that. Gregorium says, okay, I'll watch it. Thanks. Yeah. You can read slash watch it. Code 919 says Raphael. I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean by Raphael. Health. David Bradshaw means for health, mental and physical health. And code 919, I'm assuming he says Raphael in response. It's not black and white. But generally speaking, the best spirit for mental and physical health would indeed be Raphael. Uh, yeah, would be Raphael. Would be Raphael. It all depends on the circumstances. Hankel says, have you ever met a spirit you ended up not liking or them not liking you? Or the former, okay. Not that I never liked the spirit, but I've met spirits that I am neutral towards in the sense of, hey, I have no problem with you, but I'm not, fond of you or anything. I'm neutral towards you, specifically my higher self. But that's it. Code 919 says, what if a spirit started attacking you or someone hexed you? How would you defend from it? As a magician, I have spirits by default that protect me. So yeah, my patron and my vice patron second, my patron primarily, my vice patron secondarily, defends me. They protect me from harm. So yeah, I'm not really worried. The spirit attacked you or someone just hacks you, then you have default ways of dealing with that. It all depends on what kind of person you are. Are you also a magician, or are you just a? Are you also a magician, or are you just the average person? You name it. Ankel is asking me, is there a pentacle or anything else that would be good for contacting Raziel? Yes, the Jupiterian pentacle would be sufficient. Generally speaking, Raziel, Raziel also doesn't cover that. Raziel doesn't fall under any specific pinnacle because he's not one of the seven classical archangels that rules one of the seven classical planets. But since Jupiter rules Pisces alongside Neptune, or better said, the other way around, Neptune rules Jupiter alongside Pisces, then you can also use the first pentacle of Jupiter for Raziel, and the others depend, are all subject to these conditions. Occult Experience is asking, would a magician get better result if he summoned an angel inside a church? No. The place where you summon an angel does not matter. That I don't even see why that would matter. It wouldn't matter. It's not like there's more energy inside. It's not like there's more energy inside. It's not like there's more energy inside a church. Occult energy. So no. And the results aren't dependent on your summoning, you summoning a spirit. Results are dependent on other factors. They're dependent on the quality and the quantity of your offerings. Code 919 says, what's the difference between an angel and a demon? Is it good or bad or just polarities? Nah, it's not black and white. The difference between an angel and a demon is simply that an angel is celestial, a demon is infernal. Henkel is asking, do you know of any spirits that specialize in humor? And has a spirit ever made you laugh a lot with any their antics, funny behavior? Yeah, somewhat, but I can't put my finger anymore on which spirit that was exactly. Not ridiculously laugh. Some things are just funny, the way your friends joke around with each other. And yeah, that's it. And spirits that specialize in humor? No. I don't know of any such spirit, but you can simply seek out Sagittarian spirits. So Jupiterian spirits, since Jupiter deals with having a good sense of humor. Okay, in any case, guys, I'm going to close off the stream now. No offense meant to people that are asking me questions, but it's just that the last line of questions that I've had, I don't know, the last 4 or 5 questions that I've had on exactly high quality questions. Again, this is in no offense. This is in no way meant offensively towards the ones that ask these questions, but the questions that I'm getting right now are too basic. So yeah. So it's almost like I'm thinking like it's almost like this has turned like since this it's almost like this live stream has entered the phase of occult simplicity, if you will, and I'll take that as a sign that it's been enough. To all the people, I say bye to all of you, and I'll see you until next time. No problem to thank me for the stream. No need to thank me for the stream. So yeah, I'll see you guys around. David Bradshaw is asking me to what is a personality angel? Michael thing make him second patron. I'm gonna ignore that. Just going to say bye to all, and until next time.